Hmm. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to have to fix that later, but for now, that's good enough. All right. So I can leave this running. Okay. So the effort to translate her stuff. 1 second. Let's go back a few pages here. Make sure I've got this. Okay, so she says,
Okay, I'm gonna talk to her. I'm gonna tell her, you cannot blame us for not trusting you
yeah,
just like that.
okay,
And
give me 1 second, Romina. What I'm doing is for Tim's benefit, and really everyone's, because Cerise is now going to well, actually, Cerise is going to speak in Hainish and translate to Kern what was said. You know, because a lot of what was said is basically unknown to him. So 1 second, and let me do that, and then we'll be ready to continue. 1 second. All right. So, oh, come on, that I did not do that. All right. So switch, please. Thank you. And all right. She says, Cerise says, okay, Kern, so the first thing was said was this spell is to translate through the water of your body, you know, the flow of words in your mind. We can talk for 10 minutes. This will work up to five people who speak different languages. And then she says, after that, uh, Abril told everybody that that's what she said. She said it was a translation. You have to spit to make it work. And then she asked, what are you doing here? What is your business with us? Uh, to which the response was, one moment, they call me Xiang Yi. I come to help you, those who hold the 7 stones. I myself was sent to own a stone if necessary. These beasts seek to unleash a power that is forbidden to them. The most sensible hands must hold it. For better or for worse, this is you. I was sent by the order to which I belong, an order that you would call religious in character. It is the way of the water, my vocation. My question is, do you have the 7 stones? And then she says, well, after that, Abril was kind of curious if we all wanted to talk about that, whether we should tell her if we had the 7 stones or not. At which point, Stefan stepped up and said, who are you? What brings you to these lands? And more importantly, to these caves? After that, she said, my people, my faith, trade with the people of this land, but the acolytes of my temple have informed me that this area contains a dangerous event that is going to happen here in these lands and within this area. I was required by my people to come here and represent them in this struggle. It could have been that the test of water would have been failed. My people do not know what the tests are. They respect the ancient people who once lived here and realize that these people had a connection with nature that was unsurpassed amid human tribes, second only really to the elves. The elemental paths are well known in my lands and followed with discipline. The other peoples of the migration are less aware of their blood than we are. It is true that amid our people, water is by far the favored and predominant element. You also asked about this cave. I followed the one known as Vautier from the camp of the beast-blooded. The ritual of the unseen has been cast upon me, and even his well-trained eye could not find me. I was unable to help you when you fought him, because he slipped through a rock chimney where I could not squeeze through. When I circled around to the cave entrances, you had left and I hid outside, hoping you would return. You did You did, but I caught sight of the patrol and remained hidden until I could help you fight them if needed. Luckily, they did not see you, and this was not needed. After that, Cerise says, it looks like Abriel then asked, let's suppose we actually do have the stones. Do you know how to perform that ritual to stop the bad men from turning the swamp spirit from life aspected to death? How are the stones supposed to be used? And to which then Stefan also actually asked about the fact that if she followed Vautier from the Beast-Blooded camp and she didn't speak the language of this land, how did she actually even know his name unless she was working with the Beast-Blooded? So to Abriel's question, she then said the following. She said, the ritual is not ours. It's a way to gain power. I did not know that they were trying to corrupt any spirit, but that does make sense. This swamp is quite large and would have an overarching spirit. This day is the only day of this year that a blood sacrifice will work. We just have to interrupt it. It still will not be easy. That was what she answered to Abriel. To Stefan, let's see, she flips a page. To Stefan, she said, the elf comes to cause trouble in this nation. He is not a kind person. In her, the word there was confused. It's kind and or good. It could be interpreted either way. Do you know him? The wizard is his ally, a fool of your own nation, but a powerful man who has lived many years with the help of the elf. He has tried this before, and your people and mine prevented him at that time. Too many are helping him now. He has a demon companion, a woman. She has unknown powers and is very dangerous. Vautier was named by many in his company. I know all of your names, too, from watching. How is that surprising? Vautier is the least powerful of the four notables working with the Beastman. There are also the Omp sisters and their people, maybe 100 Athani, and 300 or more beast-blooded that follow the wizard, and now, I think, serve the elf. So that was kind of the next to last thing she said. Then Stefan said, and she flips another page, frankly, we only know a little bit about what's going on and some whispers from the crone, and half of our party is dead. She looks around, and then or quit as a result of this venture, and it has yielded very little in the way of coin. The name Vautier means nothing to me, and I've never seen an elf in my life. She says, then Wrangel said something like elves, those that came in stories to scare little children, haha. And then Donier said something, and I'm not exactly sure what he said. He spoke a lot of Ompi there. I think it was something about the sisters, but I don't necessarily know what he said. I'm sorry. And then she, Zhang Yi, responded that I cannot help your material concerns or your concerns in terms of loss. I will say that my people are accosted as well by our foes, and many died to ensure my safe training. My voyage over the seas was rough. Our boat was attacked by Chrysolian black sails, and most of the crew was killed. My own sensei was badly wounded and remains in the care of friends where we took port. Omp radicals attacked us as well, but they were more easily swept aside. Still, not without losses. This situation is beyond money. However, the riches available to those who possess the keep should not be minimal. You have that to ponder should we succeed. Then also she said this to Wrangel in response to his statement. She said, the elf is a radical of his own people. Vautier is also a goblin, and I think the biggest threat. The elf lord will not risk the exhibition here. He has many plans in place, although we prevent him from accessing the guard tomorrow. He has many plans in place, although if we prevent him from accessing the guard, the keep tomorrow. Vautier is just his name in Athani. I don't know his actual elven name. I want to know if they potentially welcome me. I want to know if you potentially welcome me as a partner. I know it's a lot to ask, but I do have to ask that. So, and she says, and that brings us to right now. So, anyway, that's what she says. Okay.
Thank you, Sarah.
Okay.
It's good
Can you
to
repeat the last thing again?
Okay. The last thing she said was in response to Wrangle. She said the elf is a radical of his own people. Vautier is also a goblin, and I think the biggest threat. Well, that didn't translate right. Hang on a second.
That's what didn't make sense.
Yes. She says, oh, Vautier is also an elf, and I think he is the biggest threat. The Elven Lord will not risk the exposure here. He has many plans in place should we prevent him from accessing the keep tomorrow. Vautier is just his name in Athani. I do not know his elven name. I also want to know if you all will welcome me as a partner. I know it's a lot to ask, but I must ask. That's all she says. All right. So she's just kind of waiting there, and of course everybody moved around her while she was speaking, and she turned to accommodate everyone without really just leaving her back completely exposed. It's clear to those of you who have any kind of insight into it over the course of a few minutes here that she moves more like Yoon than anybody else. So you think she's got some fighter in her. But other than that, you're not sure. Obviously, she appears to be religious, so you're expecting that she has some religious skills as well as fighting skills.
All right, so she said there were 4 notables,
Yes, that's what she said.
but she has only mentioned Vautier and the noble. Was that including the 2 sisters or not? Because I didn't think that it sounded like the 2 sisters were there.
Okay, so I'm assuming you're actually asking the question
Yes,
the
I'm
way
actually
you just
asking.
said it. Okay, so she says some stuff, and Cerise translates into Hainish for Kern, but it basically she says no, the 2 sisters are not included. They are only the associates that are connected to the AMP. The 4 notables that I am referring to are the Athani nobleman known as Nolly. And he is the wizard. He is the wizard. And then the elf, Vautier, and the leader of the Beast Blooded.
That's still 3.
No, that's. Oh, I'm sorry. The wizard, which is Nolly, the girl, his companion, demon, the elf, and Vautier. Sorry, that's the 4. There is also the lesser people are the leader of the Beast Blooded, and the actual beast leader of the Beast Blooded. That is a she says some stuff, and it comes out cow or bull-headed person. And then there is also a pair of Amp sisters. So those are really 7 notables, right?
So Noli, Vautier, Demon. I'm still missing the 4th.
The Beast-Blooded Chief.
Okay, well the Beast-Blooded Chief is fine to include as the 4th if that's what we missed. Let's see. No, the elf.
So we're counting Vautier. Vautier is different than the elf.
Yes, Vautier is the main henchman of the elf.
Okay. That was not clear to me.
Yes.
Lord have mercy.
Exactly, yes. I will never be accused of not being complex. This is a complex puzzle with lots of moving parts. So, yeah.
Daniela, what you say, we know understand. She know understand. Maybe she understand. We know understand. What you say.
Donier is going to turn and just kind of in try and speak Athani, and it's going to be clear that it's very hard for him to figure out a way to say this correctly. Omp sisters not right. Sisters not meant bad. This not right.
Yay, well done.
And then he'll point to her and go, hope you lie.
Exactly. Okay. All right. So yeah, that was well done. Well done, Jonathan. That's awesome. Okay.
And I hope I got it across that like it's really hurting him.
Yeah. No. Yeah. That was good. Yeah.
to
It's
say
obvious.
Athani.
It's obvious that you're struggling with the Athani. So that's awesome. Okay. So make of that what you will.
Stefan just shakes his head.
So she say we know need ritual, just stop others from ritual, yes? That's what Kern here.
Yeah, Cerise says yes. I think what she's saying is that we can avert disaster by stopping this blood ritual, and then we've got a whole nother year to possibly face it again from for whatever reason. But I think
Okay,
obviously.
as I see it here, we are going to face at least a 500 kind of men, army, and then we have these two sisters that I don't know what they are or how powerful they are, and we have to face 4 really powerful people. And now we have a person here who has water blood. That's the only one they are missing. I think we are pretty bad here. If they capture her, they have the completely circle of blood, and we won't be able to stop it right now. And if they capture Nala, they would have the stone that is also water, and that's not good either. We could use the one goddess to distract the army, maybe, but we still have to face maybe the sisters and the 4 other guys. I don't know. I don't see good chances on us.
Do not know what like inside, maybe not all in the same place. We not know what we face, just what is nearby. It's like saying you face King of Emborg when get in bar fight. You're not.
Yes,
The
Cerise translates. Yeah.
the wizard guy is a guy who lived for many years with the help of an elf. So I guess he's pretty powerful, even for us, with some experience on the field.
We are weak. I agree. They are strong. We are weak. But we not have to kill them. Have to kill them. We lose. Have to bother them. May be good.
Yeah, obviously, and a direct confrontation is not an option at all. We need to find a way to distract them, not to be seen, and somehow disband this ritual they're making. Fighting
to
is
free the
really
captives.
not an option.
We have to free the captives and get away.
Or free captives and they die. Also okay. No, that's not nice option, but is good option.
Yeah.
Yes.
Jakob.
Are you saying we should kill them instead? Is that what that statement meant?
No, I
Jakob,
not agree with that. You know that.
Jakob says yes.
That's why I'm asking.
Jakob says
Saying
yes
we
to
have
that.
to free them, and if they die trying, is good. Better than if they stay captured.
No, but most of us have to get away as well.
Would like that, yes.
No, because if we don't get away and they do and they die, it's just as about the same. It's a wash.
Yes, agree. All the prisoners must be free and must leave. If they die, it's like the ritual being complete.
You hear Jakob say very loudly, "I'd say you just go ahead and kill them captives if you gotta. You gotta stop it. I don't know what it's about, but you gotta stop it, right?"
Yes, but they are the sacrifices that must be dead, and killing them is like helping the bad guys. So no, they don't have to
Uh,
die. They have to
Ab-
live.
Abril, magic not work this way. Steph, Darkman, no. I know. Ritual not work that way. You kill them very different than ritual kill them. Very different. Not saying we kill them. That's not okay. Not agree. Nala and I know no. But telling that if they die not as they supposed to for ritual, no magic.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Cerise says that sounds like a good guess. I like it. So how do we get close enough? Cerise says, "How do we get close enough then?" That's the question, right?
What she say about ritual of unseen? She do ritual, she do this ritual, maybe she know this other one.
Okay, so you ask that question, and it gets. I mean, you, as far as I know, Kern, you have not spit into the waters, right? So you're asking it. So Cerise goes and spits into the water and asks the question. And okay, yes, as a matter of fact, she can do that. Good question. Okay, but to answer Kern, um, you. I'm sorry, I got confused there. What was your question again, Kern? Sorry.
She mentioned the ritual of the unseen
Oh,
that
yes.
she was under. I'm asking if she's the one who can cast it.
Yeah, and she talks to you, and you discover that no, in fact, her temple casts several rituals on scrolls, and she has the scrolls to use them at the proper time, and that in fact, her ritual of the unseen will end at sundown, which is moments away, if not right now. You know, anytime now, her ritual is going to go down. So she's going to lose her unseen quality, and had to have hooked up with you guys by that time, or she was in trouble, or someone she considered an ally, which she admits. She says to you guys, "I admit that I was considering the One Godders as the only possible ally, because I did until I found you." So, all right, let's see.
It's at this point when Donier's going to remember a thing, walk over to Cerise and drop the scroll thing on her lap and be like, not, like, here, you read. Found in hole.
Okay.
Maybe helpful.
Now, who did you give it to?
Cerise.
Cerise. Okay. Cerise looks at it, and she says, she holds it up in the air and says, "Stefan."
I'll look at it. It's not exceptionally powerful, but I will. Is it in a tube or is it just in a roll?
It's just rolled up. It has a dollop wax seal with just a flat press, no sigil.
Well, where did you find this?
Donier's gonna hold up the pack that was in the hole, and he's gonna point to the hole.
Okay,
He's
so
gonna say hole.
You didn't call that you picked up the pack. You just called.
I did.
Okay.
I said he's going to grab it and get out.
Okay, I see. All right, that's fine. So I will remove that, and the pack itself weighs total of 37 pounds.
Oh, okay. So I'm dragging it.
Okay. All right. So you drag it. You drag it over to where the heck are you? You are right there.
Okay,
there's
so
the path.
he
All right.
he probably goes and gets it from atop the hole and drag and kind of
Yes.
holds it over.
Yes. Now that makes much more sense. Okay. So, all right. But so she says so.
Y'all continue talking to her while I look at this.
All right. So
We don't have unlimited time to
she
talk to
hands
her.
the scroll to Stefan. Okay.
And
So what do you
I
do
will
with it?
look at it while others continue to talk.
Well, I mean, there's only one real question, really. I mean, all you get off of it is a
And
very
I break the seal and open it.
Okay. All right.
By the
So,
way,
let me see. That's this. 1 second. And edit. It takes a second to do this. Okay. Do you see it now in your journal?
oh, hang on a second. I agree. What's it written in?
What now?
What's it written in?
It's on him.
Okay.
All right, so yeah, if you guys have any other questions for her, that's fine. Right now, obviously, Stefan is reading something. All right, and someone else asked a great question, and I will show you what I can on that, which is this. What's her name? Zhang Yi. Will scrawl on the floor. Okay. So she says, this is what it looks like. Y'all see that?
I'm looking at the same thing I was looking at. Oh, below.
Yeah. This is
Quite the
vague.
artist.
I'm sorry, say what?
We joked and said she's quite the artist.
Yeah, I mean, she draws a bunch of stuff, let's see if I can do this.
What's this?
I should probably not have done that. 1 second. 1 second. Memorize all you can. All right, let's see. 1 second. Let's see if I can get this right. This is hard to do. What can I use? I can use this. How do I do this? Let's see. Well, it's not easy. All right. Oh, please, come on. Roll20 is so difficult sometimes, I swear. Let's see if I can get this right. Whoops. Okay. That's pretty good. Alright. And then this. Yes, like that. Okay. And then this. And this. That's most of it, right? Nope, that. Okay, that ought to solve it. Now, go back to that layer, press this, do that, and click this, and move it to that. Okay, is that covered? Do y'all see it covered or not?
Yeah, a lot of the details covered up now.
Okay, all right. So she shows you. She says the people are assembled at this location. The people that I think are intending to be prisoners are assembled right here. See where I ping?
Yeah.
Okay. And there's tons of people milling around in this courtyard here. Okay, but most everybody is kept out of this inner area here. This is a portcullis. This is a portcullis, right? And this is the front steps of the fortress right here. Y'all see where I'm pinging every time?
Mm-hmm.
No?
Yeah, I got it.
Ah, see.
So
Yes.
portcullis north, portcullis west, portcullis east.
Correct. And this, I mean, the Bigelow Swamp and everything like that intrudes on the area down here to the south and west. And there's a boat ramp or something like that from the swamp, and then a path that comes up to an entrance, a way into the fortress next to the boat ramp, which is right here. So she said she's kind of snuck all through that area. She says there's 4 keeps, obviously 4 towers to the keep that you can see there, the round towers. And she has not been inside any of those 4 towers. She says that there is a minor well courtyard area here. She draws in that goes into the southwestern tower. So anyway.
And what's in the south here?
She said that was actually the way she came up, so she knows a little more about that. That's a stone ramp that leads up into the muck yard. The muck yard here, she says it has a lot of pigs and stuff in it, animals that are kept for slaughtering purposes. And when she says a lot, she's like maybe 150 to 175 pigs.
Okay. And is there a way here to go to the place where the captives are kept?
Yeah, that's a through path, if that's what you're asking, right? It goes in like that, right?
How many guards there?
She says, "Oh, this whole area has probably got 150 to 300 people in it. I'm not, I can't draw all the people. There's so many. They're everywhere. They're all in here. They're jammed in. They're mostly kept out of this courtyard area, which is this inner courtyard of the keep right here. They're kept out of that because that's the actual area." She says there's a sort of a stone pedestal thing erected like right here in the center, and then there's a couple of captives trussed up over here. There's a couple of captives trussed up over here, and there's a couple of captives trussed up here, and there's one girl that's trussed up right there. The girl with the blue tattoos on her face is right in the middle.
I'm just double checking to see whether I heard right. Down here at the swamp entrance, is that portcullis off as well or open?
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yes, there is a portcullis. There's actually 2. There's one here, and she said although there's portcullises, they're open.
I assume the remainder are closed.
The remainder are closed. Yes, these 2 are open, right up here in the front. Those 2 are open. The ones that are closed are the one that's back here and here.
Are there any beast blooded or omp on this side of the walls?
Yes, it says that there's both. There's barbarians, Hainish barbarians, she says. There are omps, some few, mostly in a little tight group. And one of the sisters was with them when I saw them this time. I saw them before, and both sisters were together, but this time I only saw the one. And then occasionally, the beast blooded are all especially kept into. They're not really put up here in this courtyard area of the sacrifice. They're more here, down here in this area.
How
And
many ones other did you say there were in the? I don't know the name of the ground where they are.
oh, this is called the Midland Hills Keep. Okay, so 1 second. Let me do something. All right, so she says, by the way, you know, when y'all saw this place from before, you guys, just to give you directional sense and everything like that, you guys were okay. Wait a minute, this is wrong. The directions are wrong. This is effectively this, right? Like that. This is on this map. Sorry, I didn't think to organize it in compass point sense. Okay, this. Do you see where I drew the compass?
No.
All right. Do you see it now? And one second.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
How many Hanes are here?
She said, maybe 15, 20 tops. They all barbarians of some type.
So 300 beastmen, 100 omp, 6 or 7 leaders, and a score of Hanes.
She says, oh, and the other thing I was going to tell you, okay, so when you guys saw this place from before, like right over here, I'm going to draw another purple line. Oh, this is going to get nasty, but okay, so right there is the ridge, okay? And when you saw it from before, you guys were like looking at it like from way over in this direction, right? Like you saw it from this angle. Oop. Roll20 is just not very fun to use sometimes. Do you see where I put that other arrow? Over here. Zoom way out, and then it makes it easier. Okay, so you guys saw the ridge line, which went down this way, right? And there were all of these ruins in here, like a huge labyrinth of ruins, all in this area that I'm scribbling in, right? So if you approached along the ridge line to the fortress, just letting you know, I'm not trying to say this is what you should do. I never do that, by the way. Okay.
So the ridge line is to the northeast of the map we're looking at?
Yes, the ridge line is between you and the map, right? Between your tokens and the map, like this scribble that I
Okay,
made.
it's to the north. Okay.
Yeah, that's the. Okay, so now see the big purple arrow that I drew, the huge one?
Yeah.
Okay, that's how you, if you came through the ruins, all of this area here is ruins, all right? Then you would be coming that way along the ridge line. All right, now, if you wanted to say, where is this cave that y'all are in relationship to the fortress, it's this way about, 20 minutes, right? You see where I drew that?
Southeast.
It's southwest. You see the compass? Look at the compass. Okay, the compass over here, it's to the southwest, right? Here's south. Okay, now the thing is, there's also, this from looking around and laying your false trail and all those kinds of things. There's also this. There's also a stream that comes out of the cave down here, right, and goes this way, and a larger body of water back down here that obviously eventually connects up here, right? Just letting you know that that does exist. But I mentioned it before, but you might not remember.
Could she tell how well guarded the area towards the swamp was versus if people were actually paying attention?
Yeah, she says there are beast-blooded patrols that go around the whole fortress, and they are also usually, those patrols are usually accompanied by some Ethani as well. And
Wait a minute, there's Ethani here too?
Oh, there's tons of Ethani. There's like 100 Ethani. There's maybe 300 beast-blooded. There's the handful of Hanes, and there's the 7 notables. You know, yeah, and then a handful of Omp too that are associated with the Omp leader, the girls.
Okay, I thought there was 100 Omp.
No. There's only a handful of Omp. Maybe, she said maybe 20 or 30 at tops. I mean, the Omps do seem to, she said the Omps seem to be very eastward bound. They come and go from the east. But they do not stick around much. Only a few of them stick around, mostly the 2 sisters. And she said, no, it's 100 Ethani. It's the Ethani, and by the way, the beast-blooded mostly are Ethani, but there's quite a few of them that are that have the beast heads. So it's hard to tell that they're Ethani, but they speak Ethani, so they must be Ethani. Anyway.
What does she know about the Elf Lord?
Well, you asked a question, I still haven't answered it all the way. The swampy side, which is the northeast all the way to almost the west, this whole area from, I'll draw it in blue, basically from here on the map to here with the water, is the least populated. I mean, there's almost none of them out there. The only thing that happens in that area is the patrols. You know, the patrols that go around the edges. So.
Any other alternative entrance, like a sewer or something like that?
She says, not that I know of. I only have circumnavigated the whole thing on the surface of the ground, so I don't know.
So we really need the One Goddess to distract all this army. We cannot enter there.
Hang on. What does she know about the Elf Lord?
She says next to nothing except that he is a very dangerous person from his own country.
Did you see him? I mean, how do you know he's there? Is my question. How do you know there's a demon there?
She says, yes, he's very tall. He's cloaked in black. Obviously, very well-designed clothing, very noble type clothing. Clearly, a figure dressed far in excess of the others, but otherwise not very noticeable. I mean, his presence seems to exude fear. Where I saw him was he was sitting in a chair that was sort of kept in this area here. Let's see if I can put this on here. I will put the X in yellow. 1 second. If I can get Roll20 to cooperate right here. All right. He was sitting there and talking with the other notables. And let's see, what else did you ask? Oh, yeah, it was obvious from his demeanor that he was, and I could get a scant look at his features, very fair facial features, so that's how I pretty much identified him as Elf. And what else did she say? What was your other question? Sorry.
How did you know there was a demon there?
Oh, she was told by her people that the Athani nobleman had been supported by some power, and she also tells you that her people suspected the involvement of the elf, but did not know for sure that he was here, and it is a he, and also that uh, she was supposed to confirm that, and she did. So she confirmed it. She sent a magical message back to her people that confirmed that the elf was here and involved in this whole situation. It was he that was connected to the Athani nobleman. She subsequently discovered the name of that person is Noli, and maybe even from what she could tell, they had an existing relationship that was complicated. They do not appear to necessarily like each other much, but they are working with each other. What else does she say? I think that's about it. She said that the elf was there only once that she got a good look at him, and the rest of the time it was Nolly calling the shots because the elf wasn't there.
Where was he?
She doesn't know. He
No, I
wasn't
mean,
there.
what did she say? Noli.
Oh, he was sitting in the chair pretending to be the elf, basically, acting. She says he is one of those people who she can tell he has the short man's complex or whatever. He's got a very big ego and feels very defensive and is cruel for no reason.
Question.
Yes.
Anytime Nala asks, sorry, no, listen, everything. Men, spirit left when spoke Elvish. Why? You know?
Well, she stops and considers what you ask, and she looks like she kind of comes to a decision. She says, "No, not sure. Maybe he is an elf. Yes. So maybe, and I think maybe he and the elf, his lord, are hiding the fact that they are elf. So being discovered as elf and having someone try to speak to him in Elven is probably disconcerting. He probably, made him rethink exposure."
That no make clear me.
Yes,
He
me either. Zhangzi says, me either.
no kill, he no bad.
Oh.
Who be he? He Vautier, that name you say, or other?
Vautier. Vautier was the one you fought here. And he is very much a killer and extremely dangerous. Probably, she thinks about it and she says, other than the elf and maybe the demon, he is more dangerous. He said, the wizard Nolly, he is powerful, but he is not as dangerous, I would say. Maybe. He's easy to fool, I think. I think I could fool him. But Vautier, not so much. And Vautier is very careful. He's lived a long time. You fought him, he got away, yes? Dangerous.
He leave, more like let us live leave than escape leave.
She's doing a perception check to see if, or
Anyway,
insight, whatever, to see what she believes about what she's saying about Phil. Did you hear what I said?
Yes, I did. I'm typing the answer or the results back to you. Now, when you roll an insight check, you necessarily have to be aiming at some target. So, kind of what are you saying? You're trying to think about Vaultier and gain insight into that? Or are you trying to think about what she said and see if she's honest?
Exactly. I'm thinking about her and what she said and thinking if she's being honest because it doesn't make sense with what Nala thinks.
Yeah, she seems to sort of radiate a weird serenity. Like what you would think of a very wise religious figure that is just very used to everything being very clear and straight up in what they say and how they deliver it. So you think that it is a practiced demeanor that she has, a very skilled demeanor, and so in theory, if she was trying to lie a lot, then she's very good at it. But if she's not just trying to lie a lot, then she certainly is seems very genuine and very trustworthy. When Kern talks, you kind of get a similar feeling. I mean, he doesn't seem to, prevaricate too much. He's mostly straight up.
Crazy idea.
I know, it's mad, isn't it? Mad. Anyway, so a lot of food for thought there. Good questions, though. I wondered if you were going to ask her to draw out the key.
If you plan and we follow what you think is you plan, how would you stop ritual?
She smiles and she says, "We must free the captives, of course."
And how?
She shakes her head. However possible. She looks at the map and she says,
Catapults into the
maybe.
courtyard. I mean, the only thing I can come up with is
She's like, maybe here.
is not good. Is not a good solution.
She
Pigs.
draws an arrow. Maybe here. See the yellow to the
Where are the
portcullis.
pigs at? That's actually a good
The
question.
portcullis on the northeast is one way. Maybe here through the northwest.
Where are all the pigs at?
Portcullis difficult. Is right that pigs here, and Kern will point to where I'm thinking on the map.
She says they're on both sides of this little courtyard area. She says they're here. Yes, and here as well. Yeah, so this courtyard's actually bigger. Just I didn't reveal that part of it, but it's like it's.
How many pigs are there?
She says hundreds.
Okay. If we set the pigs on fire, they will create all kinds of chaos.
All right, Romans, release the flaming pigs.
Hey, flaming pigs are big in history. It's not just the Romans that did that. I mean, they create all kinds of chaos. Now, whether or not we can do anything in the middle of all that, I doubt it. Unless we can be above it.
Pigs would have to be just said, what is word? Not distract, disturb, no. Word to make them look at that while we elsewhere.
Yeah. We're not that far apart, though.
All
That
right.
would actually be useful if we did that while we were actually trying to break the captives out.
Also, yes,
Confusing about who's actually doing the ritual. Is it the elf or is it the wizard?
When you say that, she says that there are people that take the place of other people in shifts, and they are chanting and doing stuff all around the prisoners, mostly Athani and Beast-blooded.
So they're already kind of already doing it?
Yes.
Oh. Well, that's interesting to know. I do know this, that if we do something during the day, well, I do think this, if we do something during the day, it is very unlikely we will encounter Vautier directly.
Why say you?
Because sunlight actually hurts him. The elf may or may not be willing to come out into the sunlight, into the light also, but I'm not. I don't know one way or another. I'm guessing about something. If I'm right, he may avoid sunlight, but he may not.
Actually, I don't know if normal light is going to hurt him or something, but I know he regenerates and heals himself in dark, and the divine powers can seriously damage him.
Direct sunlight hurts him. I mean, if he's out, if he's in the shadows, he can fight in shadows, okay. But if he's in direct sunlight, it will harm him. Not a lot, but he won't want to do it for long.
Any way we can open portcullis? Seemed to me like that's not something we able. Yes?
Okay, so she says again, this the northwestern portcullises that lead to the ramp are always open that she knows of, and the ones that lead to the southwest to the main ridge line are always open as well. The only ones that are closed are the ones to the northeast and the southeast.
Yes.
Okay.
Current follow, current agree, current understand. Just saying.
What is that courtyard? And
Portcullis is ones we know open, yeah?
She says, well, if someone can sneak, really sneak, not like me with magic, they could maybe get inside and open. Maybe.
Rascal, don't even think it.
I can do it.
what's in the courtyard to the northeast of where the captives are?
She says, this hidden area here? This,
Yeah, right in there.
Oh, no, that's okay, that one. She said, never got a good look at that. There is a lot of stuff in there. Like racks of stuff. The people that come in and out of there are beast-blooded servitors carrying trays of stuff, mostly food.
So it might be a kitchen, or well, the kitchen's probably inside.
Yep.
So one of those things is going to connect to one of those towers is going to have the kitchen in it.
She says this area for the portcullis right here is a giant midden heap as well.
What's a midden heap?
Place garbage is deposited.
Yeah, they throw the trash out there.
Okay.
Is maybe good.
That is probably the least watched spot. What is right here? Is there a gate? Is there another portcullis? Is there a gatehouse?
It's just
It's
open.
just an opening.
It's an opening.
Is question, you not see, when you look at Keep, yes, you just sneak around once at what time of day? Just part of day, during night? You not sit and watch entrances, yes?
She says she went around at least 2 times, and on the backside a third time, looking to see if she could find a way in that was interesting or easy. And she said that the way she snuck in to see the stuff was here at the northwestern open ramp. She said that there's a patrol of beast-blooded that guard the ramp, and they were arguing amongst themselves, and she climbed up this cliff wall, which is about 30 feet of cliff wall, and then snuck in, right? See the the wall there, that stuff. What is it? This is about here. It's like 30 feet. Yeah, so that ramp covers a switchback of 30-foot height distance. But yeah, she climbed up that and then went inside the southern way. And
What was the blue line here? This blue line?
that just shows you kind of the extent where there are not so many people. Like everything from there to the north is empty is mostly the swamp area around the base of the hill, and there's actually over here there's actually a waterfall that goes off the edge of the overall hill. Let's see. That's
Did
right.
you see any giant frogs in the
It's
swamp area?
Over here, basically, would be. She said there were frogs, and some of them were quite large. Yes, but I mean, nothing bigger than maybe 3 or 4 feet long.
Oh, nothing that could swallow you.
Oh no, not.
When I mean large, I mean gigantic.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
not monster frogs, no, but just
Well,
really
really
big
big for 20 of those we could herd in a keep.
the send in the flaming frogs. We went
Yes.
from flaming pigs to flaming frogs.
Yeah, this is a song after all. The French.
Yes, they will probably flee in terror. She says that when she walked, she said this may be important. When I walked in I will show you the path that I took, and this is in white dots. I came up here, right, and then I went inside here. No one asked me anything or challenged me or anything, and I went all the way to here, kind of saw what was going on. I saw that people were, I looked into this courtyard here, right, and could see what
Were
was
you
going
unseen here?
what's going on. I was seen, of course, and they were talking. People were all bumping around and stuff like that, and my spell of not being seen, it works 2 different ways. Mostly it is more like a situational cover, right? So I looked probably, not sure what I looked like, but I looked probably like a Ithani, I'm guessing. And then some people asked me, what I was doing in this area, and so I left. I went back out the way I came. But enough to get a look around in that area and draw you this map. So I did not have much time. Oh, I knew what I was going to say. She said, when I passed this place here, this place, I felt really, really bad. Like, ill. There was a hallway. Can y'all see the hallway?
No.
Yup, it's blocked off, but yes.
It's kind of there, but okay.
All right.
There's
So
a
maybe that
hallway.
goes to where the ill. Describe ill.
I noticed, she said, I noticed as well that there were not many people like within this area, right? Okay, let's see if I can do this. There were not many people in this area, right here or here.
So, was there any sign of decay or nothing alive in that area?
Good question. 1 second. Let's see if I can make this roll. That cannot be right. Yep, she rolled a 3. She does not remember. Wait a minute, something's still wrong. Let me look at her character. Something's wrong with that.
You have 5 times 0. She's trained. You're 5 off.
Yeah, she's trained. So It's 5 more than that, but a 15. Okay, so she says yes. Come to think of it, the grass near that area was all withered and dead.
So there's something of death right there in the center of that, in that center tower.
Maybe demon house. I don't know.
Demons are not death usually. Well, let me rephrase that. Demons can be anything.
Yeah, demons can be anything. That's right.
Or not deal with demons. Darkman can deal with demons.
Oh no, I can't deal with a demon. I can't even hurt
Here.
Altier.
On this side, you say less people to north here. How many people here and at Garbage? Many? Few?
She says this area here was just full of people. From what I saw, there's so many people I couldn't see what was going on in there. But it looked like they were busy going to and from what you said was the kitchen maybe, and then the storeroom for food. So that looked like they were just busy servicing all these people, right, that are out here. And out here
What about up
between,
here?
no one went there when I was there. There was 2. She said there was a big fat beast blooded and a couple of dog heads watching that corridor like guards. And she said one time I saw Nolly and his mistress go into that area. She says I happened to be on the other side, though. I was on the other side of the portcullis.
All right.
Not seen any objects.
Go ahead.
Confused. Thought maybe could walk in if so many people they not know all. Maybe bluff. Not Rangal and Abril, too specific, too obvious. But Nala, Kern, maybe not Kern, but Nala, and maybe Darkman, others would look like part of this, could maybe walk in, but need way to cause distraction to get out, and very dangerous.
I at this point, like, is Kern speaking Athani?
Kern
So no.
speaks Hainish, and then Cerise
Okay.
translates. Cerise does translate for him. I'm not gonna always
Right.
say that, but if she's there and we're discussing, you can assume that Cerise will translate Kern's Hainish into Ethani.
Okay,
It's,
then
it's a little compromise was made in order to be able to have speech happen.
Yes, that's right.
right. I just wanted to make sure. So Donnie's going to kind of think about this and kind of raise his hand a bit and say, I maybe get in their there.
She said the Amp that I saw were standing in a small cluster, and one of them was usually the sister, one of the sisters, and they are twins, by the way. And she said,
Very few Amp think bad. Few Amp will know each other. Ithonai good, many Ithonai. Hain maybe good because of beastmen, many Hain amongst beasts. Amp not so good. And maybe me not good because strange amongst Hain. armor and shaman is strange, stand out.
The problem with sneaking in is they know what we look like.
Who is they that know?
At
No.
least some of them. They have wanted to. They have been looking for us because they want us to sacrifice.
Fair point. Good point.
So
Not
I'm not
like-
sure. I'm not saying the. I'm not saying all 300 beastmen would know what we look like, but the scouts probably were told to look out for a mixed party. If we walked in together.
Oh,
Yeah.
together, very bad. Very
Yeah.
bad. Not I think that at all. Talking about maybe you and Nala, not talking about all, just few of us that can go in alone or in small group, maybe change equipment, change clothes, change covers, change fur, change what look like, to distract from who we are, go in and then light things on fire.
Hey, Sirius?
Yes.
Would I know of any omp thing that I could draw upon or use to be like, I may be from another band, but you know, like an omp tradition or something that I could use to maybe talk to the omp in a non-threatening way to at least get me into the
I mean, you
into
think
the
that
keep.
you would feel much more comfortable if these were normal up. You know, like if they were golden bees or parting glance, you think you would feel quite comfortable. But these mysterious golden chests that everyone's talking about, all you think is that you would, you know, be as odd to them as they must be to these other Omp. However, the normal way that Omp would do it is you come up and you just start singing and you walk into a group of people. And like if there was some Omp out in the middle of the woods with a campfire, you would sing from a reasonable distance, and they would know pretty much, you know, okay, well this is some Omp guy trying to come in, and they would probably either sing the song if they knew it or sing another song, and that's the sign that you're okay and you're accepted, so on and so forth, you know. But you're expected to kind of make a show of your appearance, that sort of thing. So anyway,
It's something to try. If nothing, it's a distraction.
right. Well, it certainly has a distractive quality, although you're definitely drawing attention to yourself and, you know, risking whatever after that point. All right, let me answer a private tell. 1 second. Let's see.
How many captives did they have?
She said there were 6 stakes outside the circle, which I've indicated on the pink in the map, and then there was also the central stake, which had the girl tied up to it. There's 1 stake somewhere, I can't remember which one it was. I think it's one of these down here to the southwest that's empty. And
Were they
obviously
chained or were they?
they're cut up and their blood is being drained into it runs down each stake into a little rivulet well that's been carved into the stone underneath each one of the stakes. Let's see, 1 second. I'm trying to answer you, Romy. 1 second. Um, Yes, he said, "Where was the blood going?" And they're all cut up pretty bad, so they're like hanging on within an inch of their life or whatever, and they are bleeding down these stakes, and so on and so forth. So 1 second.
But the blood is being collected somewhere, right?
Yes, it's running down into fissures that are in the stone beneath, and just collecting there. That's all she remembers.
All right.
What I'm doing right now is making sure everyone is in a. I'm moving the tokens around just a little bit. So, all right.
All right, so just a basic assumption. I think as a starting point, we have to use the One Godders as a distraction to get the bulk of the people around here away from here. We can then sneak in or bluff our way in and have fewer people to deal with.
Kern would agree. One Godders are our only real option to draw away attention. Question is, which way will One Godders go, and thus which way will we go?
All we. Oh, okay. Sorry, my brain didn't realize it, so I just played Donnie, or not realizing something.
Yeah.
Probably the ruins, because that's where they stand the most chance of actually keeping them busy without just getting. I don't know how many One Guarders are here, so
Well,
there is that.
You saw a group of about. It was probably 28 men, maybe 30, down in the valley, and that was the one major group you saw. Now you also went past the group led by um, Yvel Montrose. So if they make it back to this area, then that might also be an issue.
I'm not sure I'll follow that statement.
What part do you not follow?
You said there was about 28, but some of them left.
No, there's 28 or so that you saw when you were up on the cliff across from the fortress. You saw them camped down in the valley to the south of you. I mean, whatever direction it was, that's actually to the northwest of you. So you saw a group of them there. But you also almost fought a group before.
That was about 15 of them.
That involved, yes, quite a chunk of them that involved Yvel Montrose, the woman who was obviously their leader, right? And
So there may be 40 in the area, but there could be more that we just haven't seen.
Yep.
I can't believe the Beast Blood wouldn't know they're here.
Well, I mean, you might or might not remember discussions that were previously related to another area where you saw the One Godders, but it is relevant if you can remember it.
Well, I know one patrol
She
guy.
was going to another place near the big trees where her camp was.
That's
She
right.
said she had matters to attend there and then she would come here.
Mm-hmm. But my
She was
question is,
in fact, she said when could come back, but could not remember. Anyone else remember when likely she'd be back?
Maybe tomorrow morning.
Cerise will
She was on a
attempt it.
big. I thought the place she was going was only an hour or two away.
Yeah. Cerise looks back in her notebook and goes, "Oh, well, I didn't really remember, but they were going another 15 to 20 minutes to Hop Tree and doing something there. They said meeting up with more of their people and then bringing them to the keep. They did mention that they intended to come to the keep.
Yeah, but they also would take time to heal themselves. So that would take more time. And that maybe tomorrow morning they will be here.
Yep.
We do need sleep.
Yes.
It sounds that uh, dark men think daytime best anyway, though how we approach is hard.
Most of the
it-
beastmen see in the dark anyway. It won't matter. The
Most
elf
see in
and
dark.
Valtier definitely see in the dark.
Most see in dark is short, not long, not see far. Is daytime is see very far.
True. That's why you have to give them something else to see. But at night, we won't see anything either. We won't be able to see much more than 10 or 15 feet if the moon's out.
Yeah. Well, Zanyi, she says, well, at least the cool thing is at least that we can, if their ritual is ongoing, which it seemed to be, then maybe we can sneak in and get the captives out if we have to. She says, I hate to say this, but it would be really good if maybe we can get at least one of them. Right?
Well, they only have 6 of 7 they need.
Seemed to me that it'd be strange to bother starting with 6 if you not know where you find your 7th. And they have 6 tied up and 7th on altar now, from what she say.
She says she hears what you say and or it gets translated one way or the other, and then she says something else, and this comes out. Is it strange that I come from across the sea? I come because magic tells me it will be right. Maybe they know it will be right.
This is why I speak to spirits. They less confusing than gods.
Yes. She says, I trained many years. I come across
That means they're
ocean.
going to find somebody they can use.
If not already have.
Yes,
I
not
say,
maybe
True.
not yet, but
They
yes,
have 7.
yes. They will.
Entirely true. All right. Well, let's talk about this for a second. Where do we want to spend the night?
She says, the portents and prophecies that my people know include the holders of the 7 stones stopping the ritual. Implication being, if you do not act, the ritual will succeed. So we must assume they will find the water-blooded one.
Kern think stay here?
I think we should go to the One Godders tonight.
Hmm.
As much as I don't want to do that,
I'm not so comfortable there.
oh, I ain't either. But
Not want
if we're gonna
die
ask,
tonight.
but if we're gonna ask them to do what we're going to ask them to do, we got to get over that.
Cerise says, "Yeah, I think we
We
have
will
to
not be able
trust
to
them.
go down there in the morning and try to talk them into doing this.
If we want them to be our allies, we have to trust them at least in that much, you know."
Kern's mouth twitches slightly as he says, just be worried if they start building something with wood. He seems to think that that's very funny for some reason.
Okay, so
All right.
something happens. Everyone needs to roll a perception check. And your target number is very high this time. It's a 22.
It's possible, mate.
Oh, look at that. Boom, boom, boom. Kern and Wrangle are not surprised. Okay, let's roll for...
I just barely missed it. I had to get a nat 20 for that.
Cerise misses it too, and she
Stupid
had to roll
wisdom.
a 19.
We
All
don't
right.
think Nala actually can roll a 22, so we're just going to save the roll.
Okay.
Yeah, I can roll 22 now.
Okay, so who did we get? We just got Kern and Wrangle. Okay, Kern and Wrangle, roll initiative.
Roll for Zhengxi.
I did.
No, I didn't see you.
Okay, let's see.
For Jacob also.
Alright.
Question, do we get the +2 for Donier even though he's surprised?
No, he doesn't give you +2 on surprise. He gives you
I
perception.
gave it to
initiative.
you on initiative.
Yeah, yes, he gives you on initiative once you even though he is surprised.
Yeah, that was a weird question.
I'm guessing
It is not in the book.
I'm guessing
It doesn't.
I'm
It just
guessing
says as long as you can see and hear me in the book.
right. I'm guessing we will say no to that. You must be able to see and hear him, and he must be aware of the scenario. So.
That seems fair to
Yes.
me. I realize it's not as rules as writ, but that seems fair.
Yep.
I'm okay with that interpretation.
Okay.
I'm also okay with that.
So what happens?
Considering the book is kind of vague.
Okay, the following things happen. Let's see. And it's which is
Might as well have been
actually-
surprised.
It's that, right? Okay. And
Hey, I resemble that remark.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2, 3. Okay, so everybody, let's see. Do I have him with? He's +4 for this. +4, 10. Okay, so initiative was 18 and 6, and it was not for him, not for her, not for him, not for that guy. It was for this, and not for him, not for him, not for her, not for him. Sorry, it's going to take 1 second. Zhangzi did not roll perception, did she? No, she did not.
She got an 18.
She was close, but not quite. Okay. All right, so that's what we end up with. All right, so you see, Wrangle, you see Abriel is beginning to say something to Jakob, and he jerks spasmodically, and this wave of dark and wispy energy comes out of him and extends out to, let's see, can y'all see the aura or not? Y'all don't see it, do you?
Not presently.
That extends out
Now
like that. Okay.
Rangal's a happy camper right now.
That happens instantaneously, but Wrangle, you are able to act first.
You say from Jacob there is something dark coming out.
Yes.
All right, that's not good. Okay, So he's in the light. I don't hesitate. I take a dagger out and I throw it at him.
Okay. All right. So just do your attack. And pull up my battle
Yes.
tracker now.
Just a second.
Didn't know that this was going to happen now, but it will
All
happen
right.
now.
What else can I see? Is it going for Abril?
Well, I mean, this would be the case where I would want you as a player to sort of filibuster for a skill roll if you want one, and not have me do what I'm doing right now. So, but anyway, that being said, 1 second, hang on, let me pull my battle
All right.
tracker up. It looks like he is freaked out by what's happening. He does not seem to be. He's like surprised, himself. Okay, let's see. 2, 3.
All right.
4. Now. All right, now.
Is
Yes. Ready.
okay. I can move here. I come here. Can I grab him?
Okay, so when you step inside the aura,
Yeah.
you take.
Either aura or an aura.
You take 8 points of necrotic damage.
All right.
All right. Okay, and then what do you do? So that was a movement. Who keeps changing the number? Like, you do not physically modify the hits now portion of the oh my goodness, why are you so negative? Because we have not been tracking, because someone keeps changing. All right, I think maybe Felix, you keep changing in fact, some anonymous person's cursor is currently on column C26 along with me, and they changed it physically. If you do that, you ruin the calculation of the spreadsheet. I just fixed it, and you're already dying.
Oh my god.
Okay, because if I fix it, you did before I put the -8 on you. Let's see, what were you before -8? You were at 5 hit points. You were -39. Look at that, 39 damage there. Okay, so because somebody changed that field, that's C26. That's the field that we didn't know that you were so badly damaged, but you've been walking around. If you look at the heal and damage column, you clearly were quite damaged. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say that you drank another draught of the 1 pound's worth of the water from the spirit. Okay.
I'm lost here.
Okay. Remember the water from the spirit?
Yes.
Okay. You were so hurt that you would have done something to help yourself by now. And somebody, probably you, has been modifying C26, and you should not do that. Don't ever modify that field.
All right.
All right. So the damage and the healing all goes in the little column way over to the right, right? The damage and healing. And the other thing is calculated automatically, right? There's no way I can lock you out on a per cell basis. I can't do that. I can only say, if you want to track, healing and damage, then you do that in the right. But normally I'm doing that anyway. So this document is mostly for you to look at. It's only for you to modify with respect to the armor you're wearing and what's in your hands. That's what its purpose is. Okay. All right. So, but anyway, What I'm saying is, since you were minus 39 damage,
Oh.
you would have drank one of the spirit water draughts, so you can reduce that weight by a pound.
Wait, just a minute.
Yeah.
I see some danger. It's like when a fighter marked me, I know exactly that I'm marked. So I see there is a dangerous area, and I can see it because Abril and Donio are in this area. So I can see they are consuming themselves.
Right. I mean, that was
Just let's make this organically, you know. When I see this, I see they are taking damage. I won't enter this area.
okay. So, that in fact, I'm going to let you take this back because of your extending
I have a question.
Wait a minute, let me finish. Okay, I'm going to let you take this back because of the extenuating circumstances. But normally I would not let you take it back because I told you before you acted that there was an aura and it was visibly you were not in it and you chose to walk into it. That means you know what you're doing theoretically.
Yeah, well, you didn't explain what happened to Abril and Donio. in this
Because
opera.
you okay, and I never
Yeah.
would explain
Yeah,
that.
that's a problem on turn-based
Yes,
games.
you were the
okay,
first initiative.
No
so,
problem.
yeah.
I will go here.
Yeah. All right,
I will go here if I'm still alive.
but wait, we have to retcon. Okay, we're gonna
No. Let's do this way.
I think we
It
would.
happened.
I know, but I know, but I think you having drank one more draught of the spirit water is okay by me because you were so damaged. We just didn't know it because the battle tracker had been modified. So I'm gonna. That's okay for me to allow. So you would have gotten a surge back actually, and gotten a surge worth of hit points. Okay, which would have been 11. And then what was the other thing? Oh, you don't have any heals, so you wouldn't get any heals back. Okay, so that gave you 16. Now you take the -8. Okay, so now you're at, wait, did that work? I don't think it worked. Let's see. Nope, it didn't work. Why isn't it working? Is someone changing that same thing again? No.
That's why you put the number manually last session, because you said something was wrong with the numbers. You
Yeah.
were the one who altered the final result of that.
Yeah, but it worked a minute ago, and now it's not working, which is even more confusing. Let's see. Okay, wait a second. Yeah, sum is right. Okay. I don't know what's going on now. Let's see. See if I change it, if it will make any difference. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so, huh. All right, so plus 11 was that. How come it's not giving me 11 more?
What's my current hit points?
I'm trying to figure that out. Okay, that's plus 11. All right, that's good. And now we should get -8. And nothing. Okay, so we're going to just leave that spot blank and put -8 here. And still nothing. Okay, this is confusing. 1 second. I think maybe more spaces were modified even than that, and that's the problem. So 1 second. We don't need to modify spaces except these numbers. Alright, let's see. Here would be the 1, Control V, and now we're going to put in -8, and it still doesn't work. That is annoying. I don't know what to do. Okay, let's see. Alright, so I'm just going to subtract from the healing. That's the only way I can do it right now. Alright, so there's your actual hit points right now. 8 points. Alright.
Okay. Even if I go into the aura, I have 8 hit points.
Yeah, you were at 16. You took 8 damage, so I only let you spend 1. So you were still fairly badly wounded when you decided for some reason to step into this aura. Okay, so that was a move. What else do you do?
Here it is. Okay. I will take an attack. Do I get no combat advantage here?
Yeah, hang on a second, Abril. You need to be in a full square, so that's that. Let's see. I mean, if you know Abril was in that square, would that have changed how you approached? You follow me?
Yeah, okay. No, okay, that's zero. That's zero
Right, but I mean,
modifier.
you might have thought that since Abril was not correctly in this square, that would give you combat advantage. That's the actual square she is. You can do your movement over again. You still need to approach within melee distance, but there you go. Okay, that's it.
That's weird here. Can I stand there?
Yes, yes, that's
All right.
yeah. So
Well,
now you
I
have
take.
CA. Okay.
Actually, that's not my intention. I will go there. I
Okay.
want to use my bait and switch, change positions.
Okay. Well, you still have combat advantage because he hasn't acted first yet. And,
Sure,
all
sure.
right. So you do. You hit him critically, so you do 17 points of damage to him. Okay.
Okay, I would swap positions.
1 second. Okay. Yep. All right. All right. And then you can, so you take his position, he goes to your position. Okay.
Yeah, the other way around. Here, I go here. Wait, I go here. He goes here.
Oh, okay. Yep, that's right. Okay.
What's his body type? Is he big?
He's
Like-
medium. He's just like you. He's a man-sized creature.
Cool. Well, I will do following. Since I know there is an aura, and I sense it, I will grapple him. That means take him and drag him away from this area.
Okay, so
Out of
a grappling roll is a 2-hit roll with minuses. That's called a grab. And
yes. How do I do it?
It's a standard action, so you can't do your bait and switch and do a grab unless
I will use my
action point.
action point.
Okay,
The
now
thing is, I will overrun him because
there's other things you need to know. Okay, so when you grapple someone, assuming you hit, then you don't get to also move. You're just grabbing him. So even if you grab him with the action point, you're not moving. You're not moving him anywhere yet. Okay, and then you will also, when you're grappling someone and you're moving, each movement action is slowed. So just things to consider.
Then I will use another action. I didn't know that. I will use positioning strike with my action point.
Okay.
And will attack him again.
All right. All right.
22.
So in this case, you roll a 22 to hit. That barely does hit, and you do 7 points of damage. Okay.
And I will slide him into this area here.
All right. So you slide the target 2 squares. Okay. So you slide him here. Okay. Good enough. All right. All right, and you used your action points. All right, so that was you. Now, Jakob goes, and he starts muttering in Hainish. Okay. He says this. Okay. Those of you who can understand Hainish, understand what he said. And he then goes to, where would he go? He would go to right. I think he would go to 1. Donier, what weapons do you have out?
Currently, it's a crossbow.
Crossbow. Okay, excellent. He goes to right there, and his legs look all herky-jerky. It looks kind of crazy. And he will attack, and this attack is a burst 2 attack, and it's versus Fortitude. And it's only plus that. Versus Fortitude versus Cerise. Okay, this is versus Cerise. That's going to hit. This is versus Stefan.
Cerise is outside of a burst too.
Oh. You
She's the
are.
only one outside of
You're
the burst.
right.
He is
Okay,
outside.
okay, so we'll ignore that roll then. This is Stefan versus Fortitude. That probably misses you. This is versus Donier. Okay, that probably hits you. Let's see. This is versus Abril.
Just barely hits.
Abril, that probably hits you, but it's certainly not critical. This is versus Wrangle. Okay, that probably hits you. Probably not critical. I don't know for sure. This is versus Jiang Yi. Shang-Chi. Ooh, she definitely got hit, and that's probably critical. This is versus Kern. Okay, that's a hit. Probably critical. I'm not sure. Probably critical. All
It's
right.
a hit. It's not critical. 7
That's
above.
a hit versus Nala. Also probably not critical. Let's look and see. All
Yeah,
right,
it's
so
not a critical versus either Nala or Kern.
okay. All right, good enough. And so in that case, who were my only people that were hit critically? Nobody, right? Let's see. Stefan, you were missed. Oddly missed on Fortitude. What a miracle. And everyone else was just hit. Okay, so Abril was hit. Okay, so we need to see what damage it did. It did this much damage to everyone who was hit. 8 points of damage. So Abril was hit for 8. Let's see if her calculator works.
What type?
Nope, it's messed up as well. Okay, let's see. She is. What is going on with my sheet? Someone has really messed with the coding of the sheet. Okay, and I have to figure.
What type of damage?
It's necrotic damage. Okay, so 15 was her healing, so we can say.
There may be some resistance in one party for that.
Yep.
Abril at least.
Yeah, Abril has 3. Okay, so that's 5. 10.
Kern has just 3 necrotic also from his totem.
Okay, this nothing is working on my spreadsheet. 1 second. I'm gonna refresh my spreadsheet. Maybe that's the problem. I'm not sure what's going on here, but suddenly stopped working, and that's not cool. All right, that looks like it might have worked. Let's see if it did. So she took 5, and it's not working. Lovely. That's just annoying as hell. Ugh, what is happening? Why would it work and suddenly not work? Let's see. Copy. Paste. Someone has messed with the maximum hit points as well. Let's see. Maybe this is it. Nope. That did not work. Not exactly sure what to fix because I don't know what part is busted. Let's see. That is fixed now. I don't see what part is busted. Let's see if this helps. Oh, well, that actually made it move, although it's not right. So she took 5, so that would be. That's correct for some reason. Okay. All right. That is correct. Now, sorry about this, but I don't know who's messed with the spreadsheet, but it's all messed up. Okay. Okay. That was I just changed Abril. Wrangle also took the 8, so he goes unconscious. Let's see if this will work. That's 8. Nope. It is bizarre for some reason. And I will say minus 11, because that should cover 8. Okay. Alright, so Wrangle goes unconscious in space. Let's see, that's 1 unconscious and prone. Okay, and then who's next? Zanji. Zanji takes her damage. Okay. Who's next? Kern. Kern took 8. Okay, so that's.
Keep in mind the three resistance necrotic.
Okay, so you do have 3 resistance.
Correct, from the totem.
Okay, that's fine. So you only did 5 points, and yours is working. Hey, works like it should. Amazing. All right, and Donier got hit as well, right? Did you check your fortitude defense, Donier?
Yeah, it just hit. I'm at 16.
Okay, all right, that's cool. I just want to make sure. I don't want to hurt you if you didn't deserve it. Okay, so did that work? Minus 8? Yes, okay, so that worked. All right, and then who's left? There's one more person, Nala. Nala took 8, but Nala has 3 points of necrotic resistance as well.
Does she? Oh, for the Drake, yeah.
Yep, she does. And so, that's the most party resistant thing, probably a good thing. Okay, so that is just what happened with that attack. Okay. And he appears to be not exactly sure what's going on. Alright, so it is Kern. Sorry.
He say he not doing. Sarah, tell them. Nala, tell them.
Okay.
Who's out of the way over there, straight out of the ugly nastiness. Unfortunately, the cards are not tremendously non-lethal friendly. So what he will do is drop, I'll use my 6 of 8 heals on Rangal. Looks like Rangal got plenty of surges left. So yeah.
All right, you are using one of your heals, and you were at 5 of 8, or did you change it?
I did not change it, so it will be 6 of 8 that'll be used.
Okay, 6 of 8.
And I will not add splash damage because I'm not bringing Julian out into that necrotic mass.
Okay, you heal Wrangle for 11. You're not bringing Julian out. Let's see if this works. Yes, it does. All of a sudden, it's working again. Okay.
Yay.
And then it is.
Oh, I'll throw perception as my remaining. I'll convert my stand. Never mind. I see my boots.
Yes, you're like, huh? What? Huh? Floor? Okay, so now everyone who was not already rolled initiative may join the fray and roll initiative, please.
I think then everyone else would get my +2 then, wouldn't they?
Yes, So if you use my I button, you can put in the +2 automatically and it will work. But, okay. All right. If you roll like you did, Abril, you'll have to modify your own on the time tracker.
No, I momentarily put the +2 in the sheet.
Oh, you have a okay. There's a place to put it in the sheet. That's good. All right.
Well, I nat one.
Hey, yes, excellent. Okay. All right. So let's arrange this in order, and as expected, Wrangle is first up.
Okay. Standing up doesn't give any up attack, right? Hello?
Yes, it does. Yes, standing up. If you just use the move, it does. You have to use a move and a minor and shift one away from him. And unfortunately,
Away. Okay.
away.
No. I just want to stand up.
Right. That was up for an up attack. But are
Okay.
you going to do it or not?
Yeah, I will do it.
Okay, so you stand up and
Yeah.
you can remove the yellow dot from yourself so you're no longer prone. And he does not up attack you. He seems to be flailing around madly. Okay, so you. Oh, wait a minute. Kern started his turn in the aura. Okay.
Me too.
Yeah, wait a second. I gotta figure this out. Okay, so everybody started their turn in the aura for the surprise round, and I need to do that for the surprise round. So hang on one second. Okay, so Cerise would take this amount for the surprise round. Okay. I got all distracted with the stupid sheet not working. I'm sorry. Stefan was in the surprise round. We're going backwards. We're retconning the surprise round. When y'all couldn't move. 6. Okay. Stefan, 6. Do you have any necrotic resistance, Stefan? I can't remember. No. Okay, so, all right. And that looks like it did work, so that's fine. Yeah, I think it calculated. You've already taken 5 since you had the 4 temps, so that, and 9 actually, so you've taken quite a bit since then. Let's see. It is. That was you. Who else have we not done? We did not do. Donier for the surprise round took 8.
Does any of this affect the cold I've been having?
No, it does not. No. Let's see. Abril was also surprised, so in the surprise round she took 5, but she takes only 2 of it. Okay, that's not working again. And that's still not working. And so we will have to just subtract from this. That will work. Okay. All right, so that was Abril. Who else did we not cover? We did not cover Wrangle. Yeah, yes, we did. He acted in the surprise round, so we did him. We did not cover Zhangji. Zhangji took that. Okay. And we did not cover Nala. She took this minus her resistance, which is only 3 points. Okay, so let's make sure that's working. Does not work. So it looks like everything from that column on is messed up for some reason, maybe on everybody. So this might work. Nope, that messed it up. Oh, no, it was 13, not minus. There we go. Okay, yes, that worked. All right. Dang, that is going to be annoying. I got to figure that out. Okay, so that was, we finished the surprise round. Now, in the actual round, Kern started in the thing and also took the next round's worth, which was this, minus his resistance, so he doesn't take anything. Okay, I think we're caught up now, right? Okay, so Wrangle, again, is down. He stood up, but he would have taken this round's thing, and that's 4. Okay. All right, so now we're caught up, finally.
Is Donia didn't act, right?
Yes, he has not yet acted.
Okay, so he's not threatening Jacob.
He has a crossbow in his hand, so he is not threatening anyone.
All right. So is Xiang.
Xiang has a ribbon in her hands, and she looks like she is threatening.
All right, then I will take my move action. It's a move action because I will use.
Why is Donier not considered threatening to Jacob?
Because you got a crossbow in your hands.
Oh no, that's true. It's not a melee weapon. That's right.
So I will use positioning strike. I don't know why I have two melee attacks here.
Positioning strike you've already used, and it's an encounter power.
No, it's the other one. No, where is it?
Deft strike.
Deft strike. That's the one that lets me move, right?
Yes, you can shift to prior to the attack. Yes.
Okay, a move. It's a move.
Oh yeah, that's right. Move. You're right. Yeah.
So I get a +2 against.
Yep.
Against Jacob if
Yep.
Xiang is certain. So that's 21 against Jacob.
All right, you already included your +2, so you missed by 1 actually.
All right.
You need a 22 to hit him. All right, so that was you shifted and you attacked him. Okay, anything else? I think you're probably done, right?
No, nothing.
Okay, Abril. Abril takes more necrotic damage. She takes 5, but she has 3 resistance, so she only takes 2. Okay. And there's 15 there, so I can do 13, and that should work. Yep. Okay. Abril.
Can I roll an insight or something to know if the question I asked him was the trigger for this?
Sure. Go ahead and roll an insight check, and you'll only need a 13.
Here.
Okay. All right. So you felt the connection that you have with him, and maybe you didn't even realize you had a connection, but you have a connection with him. You felt it shiver when you said something to him. And 1 minute, and I will tell you exactly what you said that made it happen. You said, yeah, okay, there's, all right, so. That's immediately when it happened.
Oh.
Okay. And, you know, your insight check is so good, you also feel like, you know, you feel you could act against the connection that you now have to him. So, for whatever that means, you think you might have to use your arcana and push with it.
Okay, I'm gonna try to command whatever is taking control over Jacob to stop. I don't know.
All right, so that's a minor action, and you're attempting a control roll, so it's arcana. All right, so you feel a much increased strength of connection to him, and you can feel along that connection that there's something weird. You're not exactly sure what, because you've never really felt this before, but it doesn't feel like he's all the way there. That's the best way to say it, I suppose. Feels like you could push that and make him even less there if you wanted to, or hold on to it, whichever one.
No, I'm gonna take a step back outside the aura.
1 second. 1 second. Put yourself back. I'll make it clear also. You think you have some limited control here, But the way you utilize your control over a controlled entity is you sacrifice your actions to force them to do actions.
Repeat, please.
You think you have some limited control over him, but the way you use that control is you sacrifice your actions to make him to do the same action. Like you could sacrifice a move and make him move, or a standard and make him standard.
Okay, now I understand. I think I can make that connection a little bigger, and since Julian isn't here, I'm gonna try to use the stone. That's why I want to walk away from the aura and try to take it out. I'm gonna do that next round. I'm only moving out.
Okay, that's fine. Well, I mean, it takes a move action to take your pack off, and then a minor to open the pack. So, you might want to do that at this point. You let me.
Do I have any action left? Because I did the minor to try to control him. I did my insight and my insight and
Insight
my
and
move.
Insight was free. Arcana was a minor, so you've got a standard and a move left, but that would take up taking your pack off and opening it, or you can move and then take your pack off.
Okay, done that.
Okay, that's fine. All right, so here's your pack. 1 second, copy, paste, and we'll as everybody gets more used to that whole pack thing, it will become more apparent that that's what it takes. But anyway, there's your pack sitting on the edge there. All right, so you've done that. Stefan, you're in the aura, so you take this much necrotic, and it's your turn.
I'm going to move.
Okay.
I move to there. Does he look like he's actually getting debilitated as people hit him?
Yes. The wounds
All
on
right.
I told you his body was already wounded, but it looks like it's being wounded more.
All right. As a minor action, I will summon my rod, and then I will attack him.
Yep. Okay, that will miss him.
And I'll use an action point.
On the battle tracker, you do not have one. You've used it already.
When do we get action points back?
After extended rests.
Do you not count milestones?
In general, I will sometimes do milestone stuff, but that is more like a player begging type of scenario. So you guys would every now and then say, hey, was this epic enough to warrant an action point?
Then never give me an action point because I will never use it again.
Why do you say that?
If you get one per extended rest, that means like one every 12 sessions we get one, and it's useless. I mean, Paragon Paths are built around that stuff.
Right.
They're
Well,
useless.
my
They're
point-
just useless.
No, you're.
I'm moving on. It's another useless thing. I'm done.
Okay. All right.
So I won't use it because I'll have one. I'll have one over the next 6 months.
Actually,
I'm
that
done.
also totally nullifies one of my warlord's powers.
It doesn't, but you refused to listen to what I said, which is unfortunately rather typical. Okay, and I'm getting mad here, and I know you're mad too, so we got to both be careful here. But bottom line is, ask for it, and if it's not on the battle tracker at the start of the combat, you don't have it. All right, that's the bottom line. Okay, so it is. That was Stefan, then Jakob. Okay, so it looks like, and Abril, you feel this too when he is when it comes to be his turn to move. You feel there's another force also controlling him, right? So it becomes obvious that is the case. So he moves to here. Now, when he moves like that, both Wrangle and Donier could take an op attack, but Donier, you're holding a crossbow. So
Can I
Wrangle,
just try and hit him with it?
Yes, you're using the crossbow incorrectly. You might damage it, but you maybe won't. Who knows?
Then no, I won't.
Okay, so Wrangle, you have a melee basic attack if you want one. Felix, are you there? Okay. That is actually a hit, and that is actually a critical hit, which does 5 points of damage.
All right.
That'll
And he
teach him.
was flanked, so he gets sneak attack, which I didn't
Yes,
get in
okay.
last turn.
Yeah, so you only get your sneak attack damage with rogue powers.
Como es lo de 6?
Oh, that's right. You're a straight rogue.
Yeah,
So
I'm
you're
a
full rogue. So
martial
yeah, you
class.
can roll the extra 2d6. Yep. Okay, so that's 3, 6. Okay, good. And that's cool. Okay, so what was I doing? Okay, that was him. Okay, so he moves to there, and he does the thing again, as like a burst comes out of him. And this is again versus fortitude, right? Versus this time 1, 2. It looks like he can only get 4 of you: Donier, Wrangle, Sanchi, and Nala. So this is versus Donier. Barely hits, as we know. This is versus Wrangle. That is probably critical. And this is versus Jiangxi. And that will hit her. And this is versus Nala. It's not critical, though. And Nala might get missed on that. Let's look. Nala is a 19 fortitude, so she is missed. Okay, so the only... all 3... Well, yeah, she was hit. Okay, so all 3 of the people who were hit take this much damage. 13 points of damage. So that was Donier. He doesn't have any resistance. Okay. And Jiangxi is hit. Okay. And who else was hit? Wrangle. 13. So Wrangle, ups a daisy, downs a daisy. Alright. So you go get knocked unconscious again. So you're prone and unconscious. And that little cone head thing, by the way, means unconsciousness. Yeah, very, very typical Wrangle behavior. All right, so Cerise. Cerise will take her D8, right, from the, whatchamacallit, the necrotic thing. And she will step back, shifting just in case, not sure what's going on here. And she does a majestic word on Wrangle. So he gets plus charisma, so he gets a...
You skipped my turn.
Oh, did I? Oh, sorry. Okay.
I have the same, I have an 8.
Yeah, one moment. I will complete her and then let you go. I guess it shouldn't really affect too much. Wrangle is given a surge plus, what did I say? 4. So that's 15 points of healing. Let's see if this works. Yay, it worked. Okay. All right, so, and that allows her to shift, but he is prone, so she cannot shift him. And then she has a standard action left. So she will do misdirected mark against him. And her best bet is Nala, I think. So she's a -2 to hit because of modifiers, and the ally is Nala. Okay, so reflex, she hit him, and he's marked by Nala. So that means he has a little brown dot on him. That means he's -2 to hit people who are not Nala, unless she's included in the attack. Actually, she messed up, but she will just keep the mess up because she messed up. All right, but he takes 8 points of damage, and he looks like he's kind of messed up a little bit. Loose translation, the same effect as bloodied for you guys, right? Okay. Kern.
You said I would go next.
Oh, I'm sorry,
You skipped
Sonya.
me.
Yes, that's right. Keep me on track. Yes.
I would like to. Do I wanna?
Oh, you take. You're in the aura, so you take a D8 and 2 points.
I'm trying to see whether or not I want to stay in the aura and hit him, or if I want to.
Yeah, well, you had the whole round to think about that. You started.
Yeah, I'm just going to do what I was going to do before. I'm going to drop the crossbow.
Yep. Okay.
Draw my sword.
Yep.
Use my knight's move on Shang-Chi, giving her move action for free.
All right.
That she has to expend now.
Where
So
is my?
she's
I'm
you know,
trying
she
to
can either
find
leave or she can get up close.
Trying to find the crossbow. I had one. I thought I did. Have a crossbow. Whatchamacallit? Oh, there it is. Nope, it went away. Come on, Dalton. There it is. All right, so there you go. All right, now what?
Now I will. Did she move?
You gave her a move action. Okay, so
Yeah.
she will move. She goes 1, 2, and she will just go to there for now.
Okay.
She says something.
In which case, I will then use. I will attempt to use Warlord Strike on him.
Okay.
Wait. Is it Warlord Strike? Let me double check the power. Sorry. Yes, it is in fact Warlord Strike.
Okay.
This is going to be weird, but because technically, yeah. Yeah. So I rolled a 14. Did it hit?
Nope, it missed.
Damn.
Okay,
Oh, well.
so is it? Yeah, okay, it's just an encounter power, so there's no effect on a miss. All right. Anything else? I think you've already used your action point as well. So.
What?
On the battle tracker, you have used your action point. Wrangle has used his.
When did I use my action? I don't remember ever
Don't
using an
know.
action point.
That's the purpose of the battle tracker. Is it keeps track of things. So anyway,
Well, anyone that has one, if you use it while you can see me, you gain 7.
All right. Okay, so it is. Who did we go to next? Did
Sorry,
we do
you gain 5 hit points if you use it while you can see me, and
Kern?
nope, that's my whole turn.
Okie dokie. Still not willing to put. I'm really excited about putting Julian in there. To be honest.
Don't
Yeah.
don't bring Julian.
Oh yeah, you could be stoned out anyway, so there's no point even trying.
Well, she's messing with her pack. She hasn't done it yet, but she's over there.
Oh.
You see her messing with her pack.
Alright, so I don't necessarily know that that's what she's going for, but still, I'm not excited about doing it, so I'll probably hold off. So I'll go ahead and step forward 1 space to bring myself within range while saying back away.
Okay, sit down.
Actually, I'll keep moving and I'll move to there because Kurt will rethink it. And then I'll use Wrath of Winter.
Okay.
On Jacob, no modifiers. 14 versus Fortitude.
A 14 versus Fortitude is exactly what you needed to hit. And
Okay.
you did 14 cold.
Dang, that's a nice roll. Okay.
You can tell that he did not take all of that.
Yeah, he's undead. That's pretty normal. That's okay.
Yep.
I don't have another power that I can use without pulling out my spirit. No,
Yep.
not willing.
Okay.
That's kind of how that.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah.
And I guess I'll throw another perception check because that's what you do when you have a leftover minor action.
Always, yeah. Might as well. Okay. Good enough. Okay, you look around, don't see anything out of the ordinary. Actually, yes, you don't see anything out of the ordinary. Okay, so Nala. Lonnie, are you there?
Sorry about that. We're dealing with a grouchy baby. She's her only real plan is to move the heck out of that nonsense because it's painful and unpleasant, and she does not want to be there. She doesn't really want to go up and get in close combat and hack the thing in pieces when it's sort of kind of maybe a friendly,
Yep.
So
Okay,
she
yep.
moves down to the south out of the area.
Yeah,
Okay.
tactically that's probably good because she's got the target's attention due to what Cerise did, so that's a good idea. All right.
Right. And then we actually have to leave for Hidden Prayer, so we'll be back.
All right, we'll hear you guys soon. All right, so Sanji finally gets to actually try and do something, and what would that be? She has that, and that. Okay, she will use this one. And she targets that square, so it is a 16 that would hit him versus Will, and that does hit. 10 points of psychic damage, -1 to his defenses, and she gains 2 temporary hit points. Alright, so that did 10, that did 7, so he looks like he's just hanging on by a thread. And we come to the next round. Let's see, Nala started in the aura. I forgot that. She takes 3 points less than that, so she only takes 1 point of damage. Alright, and that did not work, so I gotta figure out something else. That is really flustering me. There we go. Okay, alright, Wrangle.
Okay, I'm in the aura.
Wrangle is in the
damage
aura.
does-
Okay, yes. How much damage does he take in the aura? 3 points. Okay. So you're on the ground. You're prone.
I stand up.
Stand up. Move action to stand. Okay, so you're stood, and you can remove the yellow dot and the unconsciousness indicator from yourself.
I will move. I will go away from this aura.
Okay, you used a move action to stand.
Yes.
Okay,
and I take a stand up to move.
Okay, yeah. I'm just checking.
Out of the aura. I can't stand any other aura attack.
All right, just making sure. All right. Good enough. Okay. So that was
minor action. I change weapons. I take my crossbow.
Okay, that's good. So yeah. All right. Avril.
Okay, I keep messing up with my backpack until I can take out my stone.
Okay, so you already got the flap open, so you can just pull it out. Minor action, and I guess you have it wrapped up, so you can unwrap it and as a minor, and then its effect occurs. Okay, so its effect hits him, and I just need you to roll an Arcana check and not roll a 1, basically.
Yay!
And you hear a disembodied scream, and he disappears.
Jacob also.
Yes,
Oh wow.
It looks like he gets shredded.
Shredded.
Uh-huh. Little pieces of him fly off like necrotically, you know.
Okay, I'm in
Like,
shock.
yeah, and he just completely disappears. He looks like he gets blown away by a pretty fast necrotic wind.
You guys are all robotic to me. I'm going to try leaving the call and rejoining.
Okay, and actually, by the way, that is the same thing that looks like is what is happening when Julian gets dispelled, and Julian tells you that it feels like he's being torn apart, you know. But he also has told you that he just ends up on the spirit plane when that happens.
Well, I actually didn't expect this, but okay, it's good, I think. I'm really sorry about what happened. It was my fault. I didn't know this was going to happen, but I think I triggered this by mentioning the place where Xiangxi went and felt bad.
Yep. Okay. So yeah, y'all talk about it, and obviously people running around and dancing around has disturbed the area of Shanxi's ritual. So that has the water that was held in the air has fallen to the dirt of the cave and just splattered and is no longer animated.
Yeah, Chet, I'm having a really, really hard time understanding you.
Okay. Does anyone else have a hard time understanding me? No. Okay. So it's your connection.
No.
So,
I'm gonna try and shut down Skype entirely and redo it.
Yep. Okay. Hey, you there still?
Yeah. He went offline. Don't know.
Yeah, he may need to go all the way offline to change that connection, but hopefully it's just the Skype connection that's the issue. I don't know. Okay, so that's the that ended that encounter, and to address Stefan's concern, now we will say this is a milestone because I will interject on your behalf, and everybody can
Yeah, I can hear you
regenerate.
much better now.
So everyone regenerates their action point just in case we
Can
have
you hear
another
me?
encounter. All right. So that's that would be, and
I use an action point, pick up some dust and scatter it around the room.
Come on.
If
man.
it's only no, I'm serious, Robert. I'm about to the point where I'm going to close down and leave because it's ridiculous that you get an action point per extended rest. I mean, their entire class features and paragon paths built around that thing.
Yeah, I understand, and also I've mentioned.
And I'm serious. Just erase it off my. I will never use an action point ever again because it's ridiculous. If that's the way it's going to work, I'm going to play without it because it's ridiculous.
Well, I mean, how do you think action points work? They're not an official rule of the game.
Yes, they are.
I mean,
they're an official rule. You get one every milestone.
You get one every milestone, and the game master sets what the milestone is. So
yeah, read 4th edition about what a milestone is.
Yeah, I know, I understand, and that it basically says the game master sets the milestones. So, I mean, it could even be an entire adventure arc that's a milestone. It could be.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
I think it says the players may expect a milestone every 2 encounters. That doesn't mean it has to be an actual encounter, a violent encounter.
Right.
It could have been the encounter with Xiangxi, with the spirit we encountered before that, and even an encounter is the ones we had with the beast lords that just came in and went away. These are all encounters.
Right. So
Hear me?
So yes, we hear you. Do you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you guys much better now.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
All right, so we'll stop for a second here and discuss this because it affects all of us. So I want to be clear about the purpose that I have regarding that particular thing. Um, I do not do anything that is rote with respect to how I play the game, and that means the monsters are not rote monsters. A lot of times my powers are not rote powers, my magic items are not rote magic items, and certainly I would never do anything as boring and nonsensical as every 2 encounters putting in a milestone, because there's no actual correlation to the story.
Then do not absolutely tell us that we need to beg for them, because that's what you just did.
Now, and yes, why did I say that? That's what we need to talk about. I said that because I want to get people to pay attention. I want to get people to focus on the story. And I want to get people to speak into the microphones like they're here and paying attention and focusing on the story. And all of these things, the hope is I want participation. I want people going, well, that was an important part of the story. So should we get a milestone at this point? And anything that helps people to aim in that direction is something I want to encourage. That's the reason I say that. That's the reason I do a lot of things I do that sometimes sound like they're, maybe antagonistic if you look at the rules and you want to literally interpret the rules. But see, this is a thing about me personally too, is the letter of the law is never important, ever, even in real life it's not. The spirit of the law is important, what it really means. The word milestone tells you what the spirit of the rule was intended to cover, and my interpretation is much better than every 2 encounters, because what I'm saying is you have to have a milestone, and that means something important. It has to be the end of a small chapter in the book, or the turning point of a path in the story, right? It has to make some kind of sense. Not just randomly out here we meet somebody and because it's the second one we get an action point. That's the purpose. So hopefully people understand that now better. I guess he said he's not listening, so I don't know what to say to that. But anyway.
Well, that's just the rule 0 of role playing.
Yeah. It's that is the concept of milestone is included because it does mean what it says, milestone. And they then said to people who don't want to think about it, if you don't want to think about it, just put one in every 2 encounters. That's sort of to give game masters like me an idea of how often we should include a milestone. Now, what does that mean in my world? That means that if something important happens in the story and you think, hey, that was important, like meeting Zhangxi and talking to her, then you would say, hey, that was an important point in the story. We made a difference there. We're all getting more information now, so should we have a milestone? So my push for the players there is that I want players to talk. I want everybody here to feel like they're sitting around a table and can talk at any time. That's why I say, please interrupt me. Say what you have to say. I want to know you're there. I want to feel your presence. I don't want to be the only one talking. And far too often I'm the only one talking, and that I want to get away from that. So maybe I'm going about it totally the wrong way. I'm not making it fun or not making it happy, or it feels antagonistic. That is totally not my aim. In fact, the reverse. I just have a very bad way of getting people on board in the happy sense. But anyway, that's the way I feel about it.
For me, series for me, at least, because I've played a lot of 5th lately, and I have another 4th edition. For me, it seems like it's very rarely that we're going to get a lot of things, such as the instances between extended rests
Yeah.
are sessions.
Yes, that's right.
In fact, I've been playing for months, and Donier hasn't gotten a single rest because it's all been one day.
Yes, that's right.
We've had short rests, but it's effectively all been one day.
Right.
And so the way that feels, at least for me, on a player stand, is that it almost feels like we're never going to get to that point.
Yeah, I understand.
You know?
And that feeling is the same feeling of despair and doom that that a person who was in the position of your characters would actually feel. And more to the point, within a lot of role-playing circles, within a lot of role-playing games, the game master really just doesn't care. They're not really challenging you. They're just throwing stuff out there in the order that they have, and they're more concerned with you seeing the story and what little there is of it, in my opinion, in most cases, and just just making your call and just moving, getting things to happen, and that's it. I'm not that way. I'm much more about actually embedding yourself in the story, dealing with the consequences. And here's one of the things that I can say with regard to that. It's like, you weren't here before. These players and characters had chunks of time before this day was coming. And granted, it got really tight. It got insanely tight. It got so tight that you were forced into this position of only having like another day to get it done. And that's okay, because that will happen. In other words, as you near any given end or any given chapter, there will always be an insane time crunch, unless you have planned accordingly and pushed towards whatever ends you can do to try and make it not so time crunchy. I'm going to, and this was part of our agreement with you guys, my agreement with you guys as a dungeon master, I'm going to ease off the push on that a lot. But we have to get to that point, and unfortunately we are stuck in this one particular story arc, so we just need to finish it out. And like we said, that could take 8 more sessions. I mean, really, at this pace, especially with all these arguments and interruptions, it's going to take a lot longer.
I do want to make myself clear here, though.
Yeah.
I am okay with the way that you run things.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make it clear, at least for how I feel, that a lot of these things, it seems like they're unobtainable.
Yes, I know what you mean. It's all unobtainium.
I mean, like in the 4th edition game that I play on Thursdays, I started that a week after after I started with your game. We're already level 6.
Right. The other game masters are way easier than I am, and they don't include the story press that I do and stuff like that. Yeah, and granted, I understand this is something that some people might decide, well, that's not for me. I don't want to take it anymore. It's too detailed. There's too much push. There's too much things to consider in every decision. But I want to make it as realistic within the story as possible. And, to some extent, I've tried to make my my game philosophy clear to my players so that you can understand. It's funny because I'm very terrible at making people feel happy about what I do. I'm terrible at that because I have a friend who, and Ray knows this guy, his name's Mike, and he just says, I'm the DM. I'm here to kill you. That's what he says. And he actively attempts to murder the PCs at every point. Okay, and he's just absolutely no bones about it. And then I have another friend, Hugh, who is just absolutely even worse. He takes special delight in disemboweling the PCs, and he used to actually have a medical chart. He's a medical student. He would roll per location, body hit locations, which I do like. But it does get a little crazy when this person gets their arm chopped off, and then there'll be one of us who's running around like a chicken with their head cut off because they're spewing arterial blood from their aorta, and he's got that on his chart as a specific item. And I'm like, okay, this is just crazy. Why don't the monsters have to face this? And they do face it, but they're monsters. Who cares if they're running around with their head halfway chopped off, or they've taken a kidney blow and they're going to die within 3 days? It doesn't mean anything to the monster. Okay, so over time, he's backed off on that just a little bit, and you can probably see that my wound and stuff, my healing system, was aimed originally sort of in that direction. But I backed off of that because obviously that was too much detail, too much realism. And yet, all that being said, I'm nowhere near as callously anti-player or anti-player character as either one of those game masters are. My problem is the way I say things and the rules that I put down make people want the old rule that they remember. So what I am saying to you basically is forget the old rules. They don't exist. You're not allowed to get angry about them because they don't exist. It's like that is the starting point of the consideration of playing my game, is that I modify a lot of things. I understand it can be difficult because you need a frame of reference. I try to bring everything up, but it's very difficult because the game's realism frame of reference is very poorly written. And also, when you read 4th edition, if you read it, it's like everything says be a just say yes game master. I am not. I'm a just say no game master. Think about what you're doing. Think about how long it takes to put down your pack, open your pack, untie stuff within your pack, get it out. People just brush over that in Dungeons & Dragons. I don't want to brush over that. I want the game to be more of a sim than that. It needs to have the included difficulty of dealing with those types of situations because it adds to the realism. I think it's fun. I guess people don't mostly think it's fun. The reason you don't think it's fun, though, is because you're comparing it to other worlds where game masters don't care about realism.
Yeah, normally you are not exposed to this kind of
Yes. Yeah.
realism and simulation.
That's right. And so it
Uh,
seems
that's
harsh,
it.
but it's not if you're playing, a real sim or a really detailed game. Anyway.
Yes. It's not a lighthearted game.
It's not. And I want it to be, but for it to be a lighthearted game, you have to be snap, paying attention, thinking about your calls, okay? For instance, I did play another guy's campaign just a couple of weeks ago. I quit because they were taking too many breaks, and I couldn't stay with it. But that group was the type of when it was someone's turn, he said, "It's your turn," and they immediately started speaking. Boom, immediately. I mean, I said, the game master would go, "It's your turn," and they would say, "Okay, this is what I do. I move here, I do this, I look around." And it's like boom, boom, boom. That's what we need to do. We need to go faster. We need to pay attention. We need to make our minds up in between turns. And I can only say that so many times before I get to where I'm saying it angrily. You see what I'm saying? And I know, it's not the same. So if my players don't want that, I have to kind of just back off, and it still comes up because we want that to be the case. We want people to speak quickly, but it just doesn't happen. But I know that it can happen because that's what happens in tabletop games. That is what happens in the Roll20 game that I played in with that other group. And we're talking about 13th level characters with 150 macros per character, and they made decisions right when they were asked because they're paying attention. That is how you do it. That is just how you do it. And I don't know what it takes to get that message across, but that's the idea. That's the goal. If no one wants to do that, I guess I sadly understand. But that's the goal. That's what I always am kind of, hoping for or aiming towards. I'm much more. It's odd because y'all think of me as intolerant, but in that sense, I'm very tolerant, if you follow me, because I don't just always get mad and belligerently push. But even like my friends Mike and Hugh would very belligerently say, you need to be paying attention. You need to say what you're going to say quickly because we need to get this game going. And I try not to because I don't want that adversarial type of attitude between myself and the players. Every now and then I apologize because it does, get to me and I get angry and I, start being louder or whatever. But I guess we all have to decide as a group what we want. Again, as part of the agreement with you guys, I can kind of back off of that. I do want the battle tracker status to mean something. So after we're in the middle of a fight is just not the time to bring up that the battle tracker's wrong. When we are about to have a fight or any time, at any point, you can say, hey, the battle tracker's wrong. It ought to be this. And then we can discuss it before something happens, It's just the nature of the beast that after something happens, you just kind of got to accept it. If I absolutely know egregiously that it's wrong, like I knew that when we checked Wrangle and he had, a million points of damage on him, obviously y'all would have cured him at least once, right, before the fight began, because that just was, he was all but dying standing there. So anyway, well, all right. I would, Donier gave his opinion. I would love to hear your opinions because again, no one is saying much. I guess I don't even know if Ray's still here or listening, but all I can say is that I want it to be better than it is, but I'm not the only one that needs to change to make it better than it is basically my statement there. So yeah. So what do people think? Any comments besides Donier's comment? Or
What? I think it's your game. We agreed to play with you that way, and okay, I'm fine with it.
yeah.
I really don't have any problem. Just I need someone else like Donia in the front rows with me.
Yeah, there has been little tactical establishment of movement and such as that, which is always a possibility. Really, even despite the fact that the group has been through so many sessions, people don't know for sure how other people are going to behave at this point. So that is a thing. But anyway. All right, so let's see. What time is it? It's 9:45. I don't even know if Tim and Lonnie are back yet from Hymn and Prayer, so they probably didn't even hear me say all of that craziness.
I actually just got back, but I did miss whatever craziness you're referring to.
Okay, so just briefly, what happened was we got into the middle of that little fight. You were here for the fight, right, when it started?
Yes, sir.
Okay, yeah, that's right. You did some actions. Okay, so you were here for that, and then Stefan chose that, or Ray chose that point to ask about action points, and on the battle tracker, he had already spent his along with several other people, and I kind of want to, as I've mentioned several times in the past, I want to make it to where the battle tracker is something that we address before, not after we get into trouble. Because that is a really good precedent to set in terms of justification of what the battle tracker is standing for. So, and he got mad at me also because, just to be clear, because milestones say in the book what he posted there. Milestones, adventures, complete 2 consecutive encounters. But I have never done it that way, and I've always indicated that that is not the way it is done. And the way that I prefer for it to be is that you only have milestones when a milestone happens. an actual meaning of the term milestone, when something important in the story happens and people would get an action point at that time. Now, what did I suggest that I think really got him to be mad at me was the idea that the players should say, hey, this is an important point. Can we get a milestone? And I did call it begging because, that's, I guess that's my mild attempt to be humorous. You're begging for something. But I indicated to everybody that what I'm thinking when I say that is I want the players to be attentive and realize they're at a milestone point in the story, and then therefore say, hey, we're at a milestone, can we get an action point? And then I would have said yes, and then I would change the battle tracker, right? So that's the sequence of events that I expect to happen, right? And I was explaining while y'all were at Hymn and Prayer that's, from my perspective, that's to increase paying attention and involvement in the game. So that's the goal. Anyway. All right, so we've only got about four.
My only input to throw in on that one is that if that's what you want, we needed to know about it. So it's tough as a learning about it after the fact. I can understand the frustration.
Right.
Because it's late now. It's too late to go back and say, well, hey, when we got the Earthstone from the thing we finally finished to keep that little magic building thing, that was a milestone. It's tough to go back to that because we're past that point and we didn't know prior to it.
Right, so the rule that I referred to was not actually that one. The rule that I referred to is, well, the battle tracker is right once we get started on the combat.
Oh yeah, that one I know.
And so that's the catch-all for, okay, well, it's on the battle tracker and we have that rule. So but anyway, and I understand that's harsh. I understand it, okay? But that harshness is so that we can develop a pattern that's reliable and, have meaningful whatever stuff said. Okay, so I have a thread that is called Action Point Rules, which actually vaguely covers what I just said. So that was also already in the house rules, as I was fairly sure it was. But it says, if a character or NPC is by themselves and has an encounter during which they use their action point and they kill at least one foe, then at the end of a short rest they get an action point back. Now that's pointing out that a character who goes off by themselves can use their action point to get out of danger, right? That's the whole point of saying that, okay? And then after a short rest, they get it back. A character whose first level power set runs off of dexterity may elect to use an action point to gain a move action and a minor action, or both as a standard as usual, okay? That is really neither here nor there. And then bloodied, cursed, and diseased or otherwise impaired characters do not regain action points after even an extended rest. So that was designed to show you that in some ways action points are not exactly the same as they are, but the concept behind action points is really still based in milestoneage or important chapters that occur within the story. Okay, so all of that being said, we decided at the end of this combat, of course, because of that, I said, well, okay, obviously now we're going to give everybody an action point. So I've erased everybody's spent action point. Everybody has an action point now. All right. So what I wanted to know, well, first of all, is Ray back, or can Ray hear me? Are you there, Ray? He's probably, I don't know if he's back yet or not. Okay. All right, so I guess we can proceed from that point. Oh, and you don't know what happened. Abriel took out her stone and it disintegrated Yakum, the spirit Yakum. In much the same way that Julian got disintegrated.
And I apologize to the group because I triggered what happened with Jacob.
That's right. Yes, exactly. Yep. All right, so everybody's just kind of recovering from all that stress right there, I know. But I do need to know if y'all want to do anything else this session, what you intend to do.
We need to figure out where we're extended resting.
Darkman say we should find followers of one god.
Okay. Cerise
I-
begins writing in her book.
Find followers of one god and try to convince them to help us in mourning.
Well, we already talked to the lady back there when the fire elemental showed up. So I think we need to wait until she shows up to talk to her. If not, we could be in danger with them.
Hey, Sirius?
Okay.
When we were getting to this cave, didn't we see a camp of one godders?
Okay, yes, and y'all really kind of just got through discussing that. But yeah, there was about 20 or 30 of them down in the valley looking up. When y'all were across the ridge line and y'all looked at the fortress, y'all saw 20 or 30 of them camped down there. That was one set. Okay, then the other set was the fight that y'all had with Yvel Montrose just prior to that in the
Well,
bluff.
I figure that if Yvel is going to be anywhere, she'll be going there to meet up with the rest of her people.
Okay.
So,
Yep.
so Donier will vaguely mention this
Okay.
because it's hard for him to
Yeah.
speak.
Well, I mean, the point gets across. Cerise mentions to Kern and Hainish that, hey, Donier is referring to those one godders we saw earlier down in the valley.
Makes sense to Kern.
Okay, now, we rest or no rest?
Go to one godder camp. Speak
Yeah,
with
then
them.
rest. Short, brief rest here. Heal, ready again. Go find one godders, camp with them, and watch for building of structures of wood.
Yeah, Janji says stuff in her own language, but now her ritual is not there and it cannot translate it. So she does look a little bit frustrated, but she just seems to be serenely waiting for your decision.
But didn't Stefan say always that one goddess are dangerous and Stefan, me, and serial problems?
Oh, you're breaking up, Abril. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you broke up quite a bit for me as well. Yeah. But Cerise does say yes. Stefan did mention that the one godders are quite dangerous. They have an attitude that is very against any kind of arcane magic for sure, and they don't even really make much of a bones about if someone does something primal or divine, they're sort of likely to stupidly attack those people as well because they just don't know. Their common foot soldiers don't know that it's not arcane magic. And the only ones they really trust to do magic are their own priests and paladins and such as that. So, anything. And then Cerise says, of course, as we all know, summoning in particular is a very dangerous thing to do because of everyone's fear and hatred of the Chrysolians, who are known summoners, and so that in particular is a difficult thing to do. So Kern summoning a spirit might be a little bit more dangerous even than just using normal magic, although they're fairly aware of the fact that shamans, and especially heinous shaman barbarians, would summon a spirit. So anyway.
Yeah, so if we go back, we have to hide. You have to hide your arcane and primal powers.
That's right. Yeah. So
Basically, we know fight if they're around. We only talk, and then must get away from them and let them be distraction while we go fight. I think this woman that was lead them seemed less stupid religious than others. Maybe willing to not ask questions when it's dumb to ask questions.
yeah. Okay, so my suggestion as game master at this point is that either, I guess nominally in this situation, Abriel or Tim, Romina or Tim, act as a player caller and say what the group does. And again, if the caller says something that anybody disagrees with, then they need to speak up and say, no, I'm not going to do that actually, pretty quickly, or things will be moving apace. But somebody needs to drive here,
Romina is reloading.
Okay, yep.
She's having some problems.
Yeah, I see that she's out of our Skype
Skype.
call. Yeah, that's fine. We'll wait a second to get her back. What time are we at? We're at 5 till 10, so we still got 35 minutes. So we need to press forward if we can a little bit.
I'm really hoping we can get this several month long day over.
Yeah, well, it helps if we all focus and
Unless
make quick
anybody
calls.
has any objections, I don't hear any particular
I
ways
vote.
as to why
I
we.
vote taking a short rest here and go down to the One
Okay.
Goddess camp.
That's what I would say is the call at this point, because we got Stefan was the one who suggested it originally. I'm on board. I don't know about Abril, which is really the only major dissenting opinion I heard possibly there. So I'd like to wait until she gets back so that she can chime in. But other than that, I'd say that's the call we're going to make, and we'll do that.
Okay. Cerise says that she is happy to not cast any bardic magic while they're in the company of the One Godders. And, other than that, she's an innocent-looking little girl. She says, I'm not really all that innocent, but, who knows? Those One Godders are kind of, they jump to conclusions a lot. But I'm ready.
Donier is going to use one of his cures on himself and then drink one of the last two drinks he has left of the spirit water, and then give a thumbs up.
All right, 5 of 6. All right, so you spend one, so you spent that one 10, and you don't. Do you get anything extra when you spend one? I can't remember.
For my heal.
Yeah. Incidentally, this is. You've got an inspiring word button, don't you? Or do you?
I do, in fact.
There you go. Press the button.
And I
Makes
do
everything
3.
very easy. All right, 13. All right, there we go. So you healed. All right, then you said you drank again.
Yep,
So
and
that
and after this, I have one drink left.
That actually gives you a surge back, heals you for a surge, which is 10, and gives you a cure. It was a D3. Roll a D3. Alright, so you got one back. So you are now only 4 of 6 on your cures. Okay.
And apparently, because I'm sick, I don't get temp hit points. I just cough.
Healed for their int in 3 rounds, retains partial concealment without movements. Okay, so is that an ability you're using there, Stefan? I think yes, it must be. Okay, so let's see. The warlock is healed for their int and for 3 rounds, retains partial concealment without the movement requirements. Okay, very dim light warlock also gains charm mod temporary hit points. Okay. Alright, so your charm mod is currently 4. So that is, you get int, which is 3 actual hit points and 4 temporaries, if I am correct. So that would be 7 there. Or not, it's 4 and 4. Okay, 4 and 4. Okay. So that's 8, which is, that's right. And then 4 temporaries. Okay. Good to go. Alright. Alright. And, alright, so. You're using another one on Wrangle. Okay.
I'm going to use it on Wrangle because
Okay.
you mentioned it.
Yep. 5 to 6. Okay, now you've used the 5 to 6. And you got a Wrangle, and he spends 1, and that is his 3rd. And he gets 11 plus 6 is 17 hit points. Let's see if that helps. 23. Yep. Yay, it worked. Okay. Alright. And actually that takes him above being bloodied. So now no one is bloodied, according to the battle tracker. So that's good.
And now we can go.
Alright, so you guys head out. Just need any special calls before we make the roll?
And
So
if we
we
are
are all
going
making.
down, if we are going down to the One Godders, I'm gonna take my helm off, my Eon Stones. I'm gonna stash it in my backpack and hide my rod between my clothes.
Okay.
I pick up my crossbow, and then I make sure that anything I might carry on me that has anything to do with the god that I worship is hidden in my pack.
Okay. Roll an insight check, and unless you can tell me what I'm asking for, you need a 14 here to remember something. Okay. You remember that the other pack is still sitting right there. It's not in your pack.
Yes.
So if you walked off, you would have left it.
I want to look through it just before we leave.
Okay. You look through it.
Junior, if I were you, I would hide that sword you're carrying.
Yeah.
Ow.
On that front also, Kern will make some efforts to de-shamanize himself a little bit by stowing his totem in his pack, and well, he's probably going to wait till the last moment to do that. So, but he's going to take his mask off and put his mask away, and basically, yeah, that should be about the only major change he makes. Try to look a little more city like he usually does without his other stuff. Wearing armor and having a shield sort of helps with that.
Yep.
But when he gets close, he'll stow his totem in his pack. A call for the group is that we are all going to be making stealth checks as we move,
Okay.
and Kern will be using nature to attempt to get a good path, and Rangal will be nominally in the lead, with Kern and Rangal leading in the use of perception to keep an eye out for any patrols or anything that needs avoiding.
Excellent. Okay. All right. So
But Donnie, in response to Brill, Donnie is going to look at her, look back at his two-handed sword, look back at her, go, say, how? And then kind of shake his head and go, I not draw a sword. And then quickly look through the pack.
Yeah, it is a two-handed falchion, so it's quite difficult to, like, if you wrap it up in something, it's going to take an additional minor action to get it out. So he's kind of stuck in a way.
Yeah,
All right.
I'm okay with them being why you're doing a falchion.
Yeah, and
Because as long as they don't actually see that it's a demon blade, you know.
well, I mean, that's the thing about your equipment. You, Donier, from what you know, these one godders are nosy. Like, if you walked into a normal city crowd and stuff like that, you wouldn't expect necessarily that a lot of people would notice, and those that do probably aren't going to say anything because they're afraid of you. But one godders, they're probably going to notice, and they're probably going to say something. So
Notice what?
that your sword is a Vein Dark Chrysolian weapon. It's rather
And you
obviously
see
a
that-
Chrysolian blade.
And you see that through the sheath?
Two-handed weapons rarely have a sheath. They're just
That's right. That's
they're
right.
just hung on your back. Yeah, I mean, you know, there are some that have, you know, a little thing that you can hook them to or whatever. But I mean, basically, they're exposed blades.
Then I'm going to wrap the blade up. I'm going to do my best to make it like.
Okay, so you are wrapping it up, and that means it'll take an extra minor action to.
That's
it takes
fine. And
2
they
minor
can
actions
think
to
I'm
do.
weird all I want. I'm off.
All right, so you'd actually find a blanket that is old, and it's mostly rotted, but it will sufficiently cover the thing. It smells a little bit, smells like dank cave. You find rotted rations, and lots of them that were in this pack. But at the bottom, you actually find a wrapped up bandolier with 4 or 5 vials of liquid in it. And
Bandolier?
yes, a leather bandolier, a strap that goes across your chest with little bullet, like, you know, the bullet hole locations, and within 4 of those are potions, some sort of liquid.
Okay. Kind of take that out, kind of step back, look at it, wrap it up gently, and put it into his pack.
Okay. You know, roll a insight check again. You need a 14.
Okay.
Okay. You think it might be a good idea to let the people in the party who deal with magic items take a look at it?
No, yes, that's right. Walks over to Abril, hands it to her, walks away.
Okay, so you walk over to Abril, and I don't know if she can hear right now. Let's see, is she on the call yet, Felix? Let's see.
Yeah, she's hearing through the speakers.
Okay, so he walks over to you, Abril. What do you do?
I already say I'm gonna take my things out, my helm, my ear stones, and put it in my backpack,
Yep, okay.
and hide my robe between my clothes.
Okay.
And I think I'm gonna take a drink from the healing water.
Okay, you take a drink from the healing water. That actually gives you a surge back, and gives you, well, you're full. You're healed full, right?
Kern says he doesn't look like he tries to stop you or anything like that, but he does speak up and say, any who have water, try to keep. We will need tomorrow more than we will need tonight, unless something goes very wrong. Tomorrow there's no time left to rest. Tonight we still rest and recover some of what this does.
Okay, so Abril, just make sure anyone that has the water, whenever you drink it, that's a pound less of it. So, you know, whatever you've got, just keep track of it. All right. So anybody else doing anything before we leave the cave?
Yeah,
And,
I will drink.
Wait,
I will
Don,
drink
you
a sip
drink
losing
some-
1 pound.
Okay, yeah, lose a pound. Yep. Okay, you gain a charge back. 11, and let's see if it works. Yes, it does. Okay, good. All right, so Donier brings over to you, Abril. He brings a bandolier with some. It's got some empty vials on it, but it also has 4 full vials. 2 empty ones, 4 full.
Who has that?
Donier.
A bandolier.
Yes, a bandolier is like a strap of leather that goes across your chest, and like an old Western movie, Bandito would have bullets in it. But
Yeah.
this one instead has like test tube looking vials that are effectively magical potions, often
Rambo,
or poison.
Rambo has also worn one of these full of bullets.
Yes, yeah, yep. Darts, bullets, actual bullets, or rocks, or some small item that you want to be able to grab quickly can be put into 6 slots on a bandolier. Okay, so whatever, he's bringing it to you and sort of proffering it to you. What do you do?
Okay, I'm gonna take it. For now, I'm gonna put it in my backpack. But later, I'm gonna give it to Stefan to identify it.
Okay. All right, that's fine. As long as you, yeah, that's okay. So what I was getting at there, yes, is that whenever you find something that may or may not be magical, Jonathan, who would you show that to?
Donnie's still not entirely sure who's the identifier
Okay,
of the group.
that's a fair answer.
Abril was the closest magic-y person.
Okay, that's a fair answer. Okay, all right. So the group gathers up and gets ready. And any special calls, or are you just going to let Kern lead the way with a nature roll?
Let Kern lead the way.
Okay, Kern, go ahead and roll your nature check. All you need is a 12 on this, so not
That's
like it's
stealth and all that.
Yes, I remember your call. Yep, you're trying all to be as quiet and careful as you can.
I'm here. I'm back.
You're back. Welcome back.
Hey, welcome back. All right, here we go. Nature roll.
Okay,
Add
so you navigate the group back down. You avoid the ruins. I'm guessing that call specifically wasn't made, but I'm assuming that you go around them, and you come to the edge where you realize there's obviously got to be a trail that leads up to the fortress. So you stop at a certain distance and look ahead, and you can see that there is the trail. Somebody roll me a luck roll, and on a 1 or 2, something untoward might happen. Okay, so no one. You look down either side of the trail, and there's no one happens to be there passing the trail. So you all cross the trail, and then you can look down into the valley again, and you see a set of smoke fires where you assume the camp is. You can't really see them from this angle, but you can see where the smoke fires are. So you head down there. Now, what I wanted to ask is, what are you going to do when you get close to the One Gutter camp?
We'll hail them and ask for eval.
Okay.
Yes, I'm going to stow my totem, as previously mentioned.
Yep.
And indicate that now's a good time to do that for anybody else who has to stow anything.
Yes,
Like that?
I will ask the arcane users if I have, besides of the dark cup and the dagger, if I have anything else on me that looks arcane.
All right, that's fine. So just roll a group stealth roll, and Kern, you can roll that for yourself. I know you don't have stealth or whatever, but just make the roll. Okay, and then we need a single luck roll. Just one more luck. Okay, no problem.
Yeah.
It's kind of good. Okay, so the way you end up meeting the scouts is favorable. You find a One Gutter scout, and he takes a look at you guys, and he says that his lieutenant will want to know that you are here, and y'all tell him, hey, we, or actually whoever wants to speak can speak for the group. So who's actually speaking?
Speak you Hamish?
They just shake their heads negative.
Talk. Galatians maybe quiet. They
Okay,
ask
so-
questions.
So Siri says that y'all are here to meet with them
Oh,
and,
Siri.
and discuss a possible alliance. And the guy that's there, let's see what Siri's roll. She's rolling a sort of a diplomacy check for him.
Can I assist her?
Yeah, sure. You can, make some flourishing movements around and try and make the whole thing seem positive and upbeat. So go ahead and make your roll.
And it's diplomacy?
Yes. Okay, so you definitely improved the situation, and they take you into the camp. Okay, so you approach this camp, and when you get to this camp, you see that there's about 50 people in this camp. They're all around in here, and they have a very minimal fire. And you see that the area of the clearing that you saw from above was only a small part of this camp. There's actually almost twice as many One Godders here as you realized. But also, when you get in amongst them or on the edge of them, you notice that they're like farmers with pitchforks. There's maybe 4 or 5 of them total that look like actual warriors. And one of them comes out of the obviously there's one better tent there, and he comes out of that, and he introduces himself as Lieutenant Ackard, which is this.
Dan Aykroyd.
Ackard.
Ackard.
So, and he at least listens to what you guys are saying, but Ceres will actually say what you guys are going to say, but you guys need to actually be the ones to say what that is. So what do you tell to these people?
All right. This is not Vel is not in this camp, right? They didn't say anything about her.
Nothing has been said yet about Yvel one way or the other.
Okay. I tell Sirius, since she's the face here and, well, Donia also, to ask for Yvel.
Okay, well, she asked for
At
Yvel.
least we know her.
Lieutenant Ackard responds that she is in the area, but she has not returned yet with her men.
All right.
She's expected back, within the hour. That's what he says. And they start asking you guys questions. They basically ask you, what are you guys doing out here in the middle of the swamp? Are you associated with this beast-blooded group? They look at you all, and none of you seem to have, beast-blooded features. They're obviously looking. And they do spend a little extra time looking at Nala and Kern, but they seem to come to some agreement within themselves that the two of you are not Queerbrock. So at least they seem a little less jumpy than a lot of the One Godders that you've met before. And this Lieutenant Ackard, he seems to kind of have a little bit more of a head on his shoulders, given that he's able to distinguish between a Madra Rua and a Queerbrock.
Well, when they ask us what are we doing here, I'm going to tell him we are here because some friend of us were kidnapped, and we heard that they are being kept here in the keep up there. We thought we had a chance to take them back, but we saw they have a huge army. Almost 500 creatures, those nasty beastmen and some other ones. That's why we are here.
Okay, so the lieutenant listens to you for a second, and then he says, "Lakay, get out here." And one of his other men, who also seems fairly better armed and actually has a long bow and a quiver of arrows, he comes out. I forgot to mention, Akkard is obviously Hainish. I mean, you can tell he's Hainish by the name, actually. But Lakay comes out, and he is Athani, and he looks at the two of you, Wrangle and Abril, and he says, "Oh, hi. I actually lived for a few years in Salacia, so I speak passing Salacian." And so he
qué
says that
bueno.
in Salacian. So yeah, he's like, hello, glad to meet you. And he actually comes up and does the full greeting in Salacian style. I've not decided if they do, the double kisses on the cheek or whatever. You guys can actually flavorfully decide it was whatever greeting you wanted it to be, and that would be fine. But he comes up and greets you in the proper Salacian fashion, and
All right.
y'all share a few laughs, and then so the tension in the camp, it lessens a little bit when they figure out who you guys are, like, that you're not really associated with the other people. So anyway, what do you say? Sorry.
Well, we talked to. I keep forgetting the name of the lady. Iret? Yvette? Yvel. We talked to Yvel, and she said she was coming here and we could meet her here. So, well, as we saw we cannot enter the place to save our friends, I think the best choice is to try to join forces with you or something like that. Or at least get some kind of advice.
Okay, well, Akkard, he says, you can understand how, and he says this in the thought, he's like, you can understand I'm a little suspicious because, just anybody wandering around in this swamp at this time, and we've seen several different random people, are almost certainly suspected of being involved with the Beastmen. But we did hear from a messenger that there was a group here that was potentially against them. And I do believe that you are those people. I think that it was specifically mentioned that there were a couple of Salacians involved. So, what is the name of your group?
I look at the rest because when they said the name of our group, I didn't understand Etoni, so I don't really know the name.
Okay. Can anyone tell me the name of your adventuring group?
I can, but Donier doesn't understand the meaning of the words.
Okay. Give it a go.
Okay, so Donier will kind of look at him and kind of be like, but because there's probably a total translation error,
Right.
if Sirius has ever translated the name of it to him, so it probably comes out as woman predator.
Okay. And the Athani fellow talks back to his friend, and they kind of laugh for a second, and he goes like, "Okay, it's wolf and predator. That's very funny, but a predator close." He says, "I think you are the people, but we'll give you the benefit of the doubt." But he said, "No, there is a Athani house that is sort of almost an up-and-coming upper-class house called the Matin." And Matin just means morning in Athani. So it's the morning predators. Very relatively close there. Wolf and predator, a little odd, almost like a spy trying to sneak in who doesn't quite know the name. So I'm afraid we're going to have to kill you all. No, just kidding.
Didn't say.
All right. So he says, so what you intend to do what then? How are you going to assist us? How can we assist you? Because we intend actually tomorrow to assault the fortress at some point. I know that that's coming.
And is this all your force you have?
No, they're
I count no more than 60, 70
Yes,
tops.
there are many more of the faithful of the flock of the faithful here that will assault the fortress, and I'm afraid that on the off chance that you are an enemy spy, I will not say how many entirely are with us, but it is a force sufficient to give the force in the fortress a significant difficulty, even if they do have foul and evil magics to assist them.
Hmm. Do you know what's their force is?
We make their complement no more than about 200 combatants and various others amounting to another 150 possibly.
Hmm. Maybe you're falling a little bit short on that number.
He says, maybe. What do you know? How many do you think there are there?
About
Wow.
500, I told you already.
500. Ugh. Well,
And
that's.
they have some, but what I heard, some very powerful people with magic, dark magic.
I said, okay, well, we're very interested in hearing what you have to say on that. Um, what is it that you do again, miss?
I told you I'm here to rescue some people I know that they are trapped in there. They
Okay.
were kidnapped and being tortured.
Are you a warrior, miss?
Do I look like one?
No. So, what is it that you bring to the table?
She is sneaky,
Ah,
I talk.
you're a
and
talky warrior. He said, well, ma'am, I don't think diplomacy is going to get us anywhere tomorrow, but, if you're a sneaky type, we can understand that. And he says, so basically, the people that you're talking about, he says, are you talking about, they have some people amidst their number that are not really combatants, that are just people that lift things and carry stuff from point A to point B. Just like some of these, not that our number of farmers here is any more well trained in combat than they would be. And of course, these are frightening beastmen. But anyway, just letting you know that I don't think all of those people, all of the 500 that you mentioned, are all fully combat trained. Um, there are quite a few of them that are not warriors. So you say that there are
Well,
magic users
you
there.
you don't see very trained. Also, I look at those that
He
are
says, yeah,
more
that's.
believers and not
He says,
very well equipped.
he says, you're right, and that is the case. But one of the faithful can fight very well when they are blessed by one of our war priests. Our war priest for this little group here is not here yet, but he is coming. He should be here either with Yvel or shortly thereafter.
That might be
And
your
we have, as I mentioned, several other groups are positioned around the valley, around the fortress. So what I need to know then is what you know about the magic that we might face. We don't really know what to expect. We're not experts in fighting evil magic, although we will do it if necessary, and we prefer to destroy evil magic when we can. So maybe you could tell me what it is that you know to help us in our efforts.
evil wizard, dark elfy guy.
And
Demon.
they talk back and forth amongst themselves, and they say, "Elf? You say there's an elf here? A real elf?"
Yes, a
Yes.
shade kind
And
of
dark
elf,
elfy
something
guy
like that.
told stuff.
And they say a lot of stuff in Quickethani, but basically, Cerise tells you that they're talking amongst themselves about uh, something about the nation of Arendium and its possible involvement, or whether or not this is just some splinter faction or whatever. And they say, how many elves?
There is. You tell they about sunlight hurting dark elf, please.
Okay, and Cerise relates that to the Ethani. And
And if you got God grants you divine powers, use it against him.
yeah, a
It's
card.
gonna hurt him really bad.
Yeah, by the way, You think it's weird that Akar doesn't speak Hainish when he's obviously clearly of mixed blood, that there's something going on there because he only speaks Ithani. Anyway, all right, so they, the 4 or 5 of them that look like they're more or less capable combatants are now pretty much all together with you guys talking. So they're all listening and talking amongst themselves and stuff like that. And it comes up that they want to know what it is you guys are going to be doing while they, make their assault. They say that they can probably distract a fair amount of the troops of the Beast-Blooded, but they're concerned. They also want to know if the 2 barbarians here know anything about the barbarians that are helping these people, the Queerbrok.
Barbarian me? Kern points at his chest. And
Yes, you. Barbarian, yes. he kind of sneers at you a little bit.
I'm from Emborg.
Oh, really? He says,
Born in Emborg.
All right, so it's being translated back and forth. So he looks at it and says, isn't this interesting? Here I am, a Hain that doesn't speak Hainish, and you're a barbarian that lives in Emborg that doesn't speak Ithani. Y'all just kind of stare at each other for a
Paradox.
second. Okay,
All
so
very strange, agree.
all right.
Not much about these Hainishmen, except that they're making very poor choice.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, I don't know if you guys are ready to end. If you want to, as a group, continue to talk to these guys and make some more plans before next session, then that's fine. Otherwise, we are officially at the end of this session. So does anyone want to go ahead and end the session? I'll ask that. Anyone at all?
Before we break and take a break, I just wanted to ask if we are already allowed to camp and take our long rest here.
Okay, so you ask them that, and they say they have no problem with that, and
right.
they only say that they extend the courtesy of the camp to you, and that they expect the same courtesy in return. That
All
you
right.
behave yourselves
Then,
and defend, help defend their camp as well.
I want just to state clearly to them that my goal here is to save the people that will be sacrificed by the bad guys. Yes.
Yes.
And there is nothing, I will take no orders from them, and I will move freely and on my own, trying to free them. What they are up to do, what they want to do, it's up to them.
Right.
But I have to free my friend and other innocents that will be sacrificed here.
You asked what we do while you distract. We free captives which spoil dark magics.
Ah, okay. That is exactly what I wanted to hear you say. And Eckhart goes around and he introduces himself, and his last name is this, Linnaeus, Eckhart Linnaeus, and Lacaille does so as well, and some of the other people do also. We won't bother with their names, but they go around and shake your hands, and they just kind of get to know your name and stuff. They ask everybody's name, and
Yeah, no problem with
you
it.
do
Rango.
see that there is a company or one of these warriors here who does seem to be doing the same thing as Cerise is doing. He is scrawling everything he hears in a book. So, some historian or something.
One of the things that Danya would like to do before we end, after some visible, like he's gonna like stop talking, kind of obviously mull things over. He's gonna walk over to the captain, Onkard, right?
Yes, you might say captain. He goes, no, sir, I'm not a captain. I am a lieutenant.
Lieutenant.
Yes, how can I help you?
Or 2.
So, did you introduce yourself?
Yeah, he'll introduce himself as, Donior Romanov.
Okay. He says,
And
Donior.
then he'll point up to the to where the castle is, and he'll say, "Omp magic there too."
Omp magic. He shakes his head. Yes, what? And Cerise, tells you what he's saying. He wants to know what type of magic.
Omp sisters there.
And then they discuss for a second, and they end up saying that they know about, and they say the names of Clav and I forget the other one's name, Stira, something like that. The 2 Omp sisters, yes, and they seem to know who that is. And do you confirm that?
I don't know if they're Omp. I'm just gonna kind of nod.
Okay, so you say, well, yeah, okay, so you nod. All right, so anyway, what I was asking earlier.
Are we generally accepted into the thing?
Yes, y'all have been accepted into the camp, and everybody, I guess, if they want to, can kind of be just, milling around and going to cook fires and stuff like that. And
is this camp in any way trying to hide?
No, it is not.
Some
of the people are back in the woods, like where you were up before on the cliff. You could only see the clearing. They're in a clearing. But some of them are back in the woods, but they're not trying to hide it by any stretch of the imagination. Okay.
Then Donier is going to try and with Cerise, Donier will start telling stories by the fire, best he can.
Sure.
Omp stories.
Sure. Okay.
Try and get people try and increase morale.
Absolutely. Yeah,
he knows that's a big thing for a fight.
All right, so for your generic effort in that regard, roll a diplomacy check. Okay.
24.
All right, you think you did pretty good, and the people are singing along with your Omp songs, and you found that some of the Athani knew the songs, some of the songs that you were singing, and they seem to be enheartened by your presence.
Mm-hmm.
So you can kind of consider them allies for those purposes. That did that effect. All right, and there will be potentially another effect, but we'll handle that next time.
Oh, and serious, I would also like to mark this as the first step for Donier eventually working towards multi-classing the Bard.
Yep. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, you're working on that. Okay, so you got a role plan. So good job. All right, so and Cerise can help you with that too, being an actual Bard. All right,
just one last action I want to take.
Mm-hmm.
I will stand in front of Xiang and take her to put away her sash that is dripping water.
Yep. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, she does that. She puts away her ribbon.
Okay.
And she just sort of bows and looks, doesn't make herself very obvious because, but the guys do ask, where did you guys pick up a person from Draenor?
Maybe we think she ran away from the camp. She looks like a captive from that. That's a lie, obviously.
Yeah.
She looks like a captive that ran away. She was very scared.
So make a bluff check on that.
Wait.
Let me help him with that story.
Okay, so you need to roll the bluff roll first. Okay, so, we don't know yet. So then go ahead, Abriel, and make yours. Okay, so you are obviously able to help with his bluff. and he says something, and you jump in and say, ah, da, 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 and then Lakay says, he says something back to you, and it seems to be brushed over. Let's see if they are buying it. 1 second. I think probably they will, but whatever. Let's see. This is the Eckhart. Okay. Whoa. Okay. All right. So yeah. So Abril steps in, and there still seems to be some little question, and you think that point was not entirely resolved. In other words, Eckhart has some doubts where Zhanshi is concerned. He's not exactly sure that, and you think this, Abril, you think that he thinks that you guys don't know, and therefore he's more suspicious of her, like even for your own safety. You follow me?
I don't.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So anyway, that is the end. So so is everyone going to try to get an extended rest here and go and sleep in the camp?
Yeah, sure.
Is
I will.
there a way that I can like sleep, like just pile stuff over me and stuff so that I can, or sleep away, just pretend, oh, I'm an omp. I'm gonna go do an omp thing over here and sleep.
I mean, you're associated. You're still going to probably be associated with this group. I mean, anyone that was
So
around
that's
would think
fine.
that.
I just want to try and be able to secretively attune to my stone.
Right. Okay. All right. Well, let me get this out then. Okay. So.
By like being like, hi, I'm just gonna be an omp and
Right.
sleep away from you.
Right. Everybody be thinking about what you intend to attune to. Okay. And I want to say one thing before people run away, if possible. Tim, are you still there? Just before you let you get away.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. So, I'm taking it that you do intend to do an extended rest. Now, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of you guys, and then 7, 8, including Zhanshi and Cerise. So I need to know if you guys are intending to have someone awake at all points during the watch.
Sure.
The answer is yes, yes, WDD, yes, yes.
Okay,
Definitely.
so
Yes.
all right, so we will say, what are you going to divide it into 3 watches, or how is it like normal, or half and half, or what?
But Donier and Kern need to be asleep in order to attune.
And everybody needs to get their rest so we can get the extended rest, but you don't have to have everybody asleep for the length of time that a normal
Correct.
overnight camp runs.
Correct. Okay.
So,
Yeah.
So yeah, we would probably break it up. How many we got? We had 2, 4, 6, 8, but she's sus, so 7 of us that we nominally trust. So probably we'd use her on a watch, but we would.
Nala would speak up, say, I watch.
Yeah, Nala would be willing to watch with her, which Nala's not got the best seeing stuff, but she's the most likely to rip somebody a new one if they do something stupid. Not a bad call. I'd say maybe do 3 watches through the night and split it up to. It'll be a little lopsided on the watches, but maybe 3 watches, 4 hours apiece. So everybody gets 8 hours of rest. 12 hours of time goes by, which is pretty standard in these sorts of things.
Okay.
Sometimes they go for 10, sometimes they go for 12.
All right.
Just what Godders are planning.
Just for the purposes of the next session, who's on? I got to know real quick here. Who's on each watch?
I go on first.
Okay.
So Kern and Rangal should be separated on the 2 of the different watches
We might have the best
because of our
perception
perception check.
Okay.
Kern and mine, Rangal and Maya, I think are the highest perception checks. I'm not sure who's the next highest, but they should lead the other watch out of the remaining people.
After some discussion, Zhanshi steps forward and
Yeah, she's definitely. Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
Out of our own crew
Kern
is
was
next.
on a watch.
Okay, so So who's first, who's second, who's third?
So Donier, what's yours? You can always roll it and find out from the roll. And does anybody know what Stefan's is? Because I think Ray's not here.
Not +2.
Yeah.
Oh, Stefan is here? Okay, so 2-2, and Nala's is lower than that. Sarah's?
Sarah's is
Sarah's-
not good. She's like a +2 maybe, I think. Let me see.
Okay, so it's a wash. It doesn't really matter.
One.
So
She's +1.
So
I'm
let's put
trained.
Abril, Nala, and Jen
Zashi.
together, three
Yeah.
of them. That way we've got an extra person on watch to cover for the fact that the person we suspect that is suspect has the highest perception check.
Yep.
Abril wanted to go first, so put her on there for first. And then for second watch, Kern and second watch is usually the quietest watch, but maybe Kern and either Stefan or Donior would be my suggestion. And
Sure.
then,
Donier will say it with you for watch 2.
okay, so Kern and Donior for second watch, and then Stefan, Rangal, and Sarah's for last watch together. Typically speaking, your worst watch times are the first watch and last watch. Is the smartest tactical decision to attack at those times, dusk and dawn.
Okay. All right. So that's good. All right, guys. Does anyone anticipate not being here next Monday night?
Next year.
No, I don't think I got anything specific.
Next Monday night is like the second, right? The 2nd of
Yeah.
January.
Yeah, it should be fine.
All right. Okay. All right. Well,
I should be here next week. I'm not quite sure about the 9th. But I will be able to let you know by next week if I'll be here on the 9th.
yeah. Okay, that's fine. All right.
So,
Well, Anybody-
we start with
Good
the
night.
rest, or are we freely moving through the camp before we rest? I mean, just to have some
Yeah.
chat.
you have the run of the camp of
During the
course.
week.
Yes, you have the run of the camp, of course. Yes.
All right.
So yeah, they're not restricting you in any way that they've said. So that's all good. All right. Yeah. If
Okay.
you want to post a PvP thread, you can certainly do that. All right. So good to know. And I will see you guys next week. And sorry for the long discussion on action points and whatnot. I'm gonna go
It's
ahead
okay.
and stop my
Oh.
live stream now.